Look at how great the camera is.
Hey, I didn't move it at all.
See, you moved it down or up, didn't you?
I didn't move it anywhere.
You moved it up. Now you moved it down. I had it perfect for once.
This is good enough.
It's really never perfect because it honestly is probably at the worst angle it could be at. Like to be honest, I don't know why I just don't keep it there and just like move it a little bit, and then it's like at our head level. Like if you ever start balding, our audience will know immediately. There it is, dude. Bald spot right there. I see it.
It's there.
A little bald spot. Also, my gut could not look more Jabba the Huttish from this angle. Like, you would look fat from this angle in this chair.
Dude. Yeah. Show some skin.
That's right. Oh, the ladies tuned in right there, man. They couldn't handle it. Hey, what's up, everybody?
Left immediately.
We are the most professional show on the history
We
of
are.
shows.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the Seth and Colby show. I'm Seth, he's Colby, and we're here to do a show.
Yeah.
Should we just get started today?
Yeah, let's go.
Do you have anything you want to talk about today?
No. I have nothing.
You went and saw Transformers, right?
Mm-mm. What? Did
you?
No.
Why didn't you?
I didn't see it.
Why not?
No, I saw it.
God, bastard. Yo, you got me worried.
Gotcha.
I was like, half of the show is you talking about Transformers, man. I filled 45 minutes last week. I expect you to at least fill 5.
5?
5 minutes.
I could do 5.
Okay. I hope for 5. That's my wish.
Yeah, I haven't done anything other than that.
Okay.
That was my entire week.
That's fine, man.
It was just a 2-hour and 40-minute long movie stretched out to 5 days.
Is that because it felt like 5 days while you're sitting there watching it?
Yes, it did.
All right, well, let's start the stupid show, and then we'll talk about that stupid
show
movie.
Do it.
All right, here we go.
Who are Seth and Colby? Idiots! So-called podcast gods who blazed the trail for talk radio on the internet.
What a ridiculous name.
First partnering in 2008, Seth and Colby took the internet by storm with their unique views on the hot topics of the day.
Science is a liar sometimes.
We won't lie. They've been away a while. A lot of things may have changed.
45th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
But Seth and Colby are here to teach you.
This is America. You're either a duper or a doopy. I'm a duper. You guys are the doopies.
To entertain you.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And to make you laugh. Seth and Colby will dissect the world as it is. Movies, meme culture, music, weird science.
We didn't have time to work out the minutiae of the plan.
And they'll bring it to you in a lovely package that will delight you and those closest to you. Now, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, and attack helicopters, here are Seth and Colby.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to the Kermit the Frog Show.
Hello, everybody.
This is the Seth and Colby Show. We are live every Sunday at 2 o'clock
Everyone at that
Central Time. Except for this week, where we're live today.
We are.
Which
Won't
is
be in
still
the future.
Sunday.
We're here.
No, next week we're not going to be live today. We're going to be live next Sunday.
Right.
And the week before that we weren't live today. We were live
Last
Sunday. Yeah, that's how it works.
Paradox.
It is episode 8. I feel like we've done more.
Me too.
Generally, for other shows, I'm like, wow, we've done 8 already for this show. I'm like, haven't we done 25?
I looked at iTunes the other day to listen back to the June shows. And
Yeah.
They weren't there.
What do you mean they weren't
I don't
there?
know what's wrong with my iTunes podcast app, but literally it goes May 27th, June, whatever last week was. 20.
I mean, we missed a show.
I think we've missed
Or two. I think we missed 2
but
shows
still,
in
I
June.
feel like we did one in June.
Yeah.
We did one after my birthday and it wasn't there.
Right, because we missed one for a reason, then we did one, and then I was on vacation, and then we did one. So we did one. We should at least done 2 shows in June.
We did 2.
Yeah, at least. That's our.
This one.
We used to do 1 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, you should
That's
be happy
better.
with it. I mean, really?
We're doing better.
We could stop right now, and we could be done until 2025. We wouldn't have to do a show till 2026.
Take
man.
all of the current ones down.
My God, I'd be
Leave up
39
one.
then.
2017.
Horrifying.
That's terrible.
That's horrifying, man. Well, anyway, we didn't introduce the show at all.
We're
It's
here.
episode 8. It's
And
July 2nd.
That's the date.
America, the beautiful and the great and all that. Subscribe to the show on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher, and watch our videos on YouTube after the fact if you can't watch them live. And you can watch them live at duo.com/live. I'm not going to spell it. I'm tired of them making me do their bidding.
You better know how to spell it.
No, just go to sethandcolby.com, and the watch live button's at the top. Just click that if you want to watch it live on Sunday at 2 o'clock Central. And then the videos are there, and then the links to all of the subscriptions are there. And if you feel like it, you can also buy a Seth and Colby t-shirt there and join the Duo fan club and support our podcast network, a.k.a. Cameron, who's having a baby.
Baby boy.
Our numbers trounced his numbers again. So his family listens for
Back to
1
where
week
we
only.
belong.
Right. That's what we want. We want him to feel bad about us.
This is our network.
Get off of it. We started this. I mean, you named it, and then we started it. I can't give him credit for starting it because then I named it, and I don't want that.
You named it, so.
I did name it. It was a bad name. Today, we're going to
logo.
talk about Colby, who saw Transformers 5, even though I ranted about it for an hour last
For
week.
an hour.
About how horrible it was. He's like, you know what? I'm going to go check that out. And he went on Friday with his family. He brought his family. He's like
They were like,
he's
I
like a
wanna see it
waterboarder.
too. My dad loves those movies.
God. Okay, well, let's just jump right in. Because
Okay.
my mom loved Transformers as well.
Uh-huh. And
And I thought after sitting through that, there's no way my mother still loves those stupid movies. And
Yeah.
she's like, that was great. I love the Transformers. And I lost so much respect for her
Oh, God. Well,
that day.
you're going to lose some respect then.
Okay, let's.
For me.
Oh no. I was hit
It's
stop on the
definitely
podcast.
not as bad as I thought. I had
Well-
the shittiest expectation. Like I heard your hour-long
Right.
spiel. I then went home and watched several YouTube videos of reviewers being like, I've done this review already 4 times because this movie is the same as all the other movies.
Yeah, like how Stanley Tucci was in Transformers 4 and 5.
And 5,
Yeah,
both, yeah,
okay.
separate characters.
Yeah.
I think Mark Wahlberg is even a separate character. Like, his name's the same, but he's not the same person.
Completely different
He's
character.
just like, yeah, first movie that he's in, he's like, I got a daughter that I love.
Yeah.
And there's Transformers. I need to protect her from the shit that's coming with
but
those
she's in
Transformers.
college now, so she's safe.
And now he's given up being a dad, said,
Right.
fuck it, I am now a criminal. I'm just going to hang out and do stupid shit with Transformers all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know that Cybertron's coming to kill the planet.
No.
I'm literally just wasting my life hoping for a new heroic moment to come along
Well,
so I don't feel empty inside.
So my perspective, because I didn't see Transformers 4,
Mhm.
was that he was some type of Transformer doctor or something where he found
No,
hurt
he's
Transformers.
he's an inventor who found Optimus Prime in a fucking barn.
Okay.
And then started working on him, and he's like, this isn't just a truck. This is a transformer. And then he, like, transforms, and then the military shows up to arrest him because
That's how the fourth movie
Optimus
starts?
is now illegal, or they're trying to kick out the... Yes! Same movie, same plot, everything.
Wait, he's illegal in the 4th movie too?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
That's the same movie.
Yes, it is.
Except this one has a planet
It
crashing
is, yes.
into it.
This one, or the first one, I think it was a continuation because they're still illegal in this one. But
Right. I don't know
still.
why they're illegal, though.
It's just so much. I loved it for the CGI.
Okay, yeah, CGI was
that
great.
IMAX experience literally blew my tits off. Blew them off.
Okay.
Like, when I saw Cybertron's fucking anchors just hit wherever Earth was, where it just landed, and then it was just like the on the tethers, and then it
Oh,
hits
yeah, okay.
the bigger, like, the tentacles of the
Right,
planet,
right.
basically. When those, like, hit down on Earth, I'm like,
Scraped Hong Kong.
millions dead!
Yeah.
So many people dead!
But what about the speed discrepancy of it's cruising through space at what appears to be thousands of miles an hour, and then it slowly scrapes Hong Kong off?
Right. And then, yeah, it takes 2 days for it to move from the moon to Earth. Right.
They had to pump the brakes, man.
Give it. The plot, you don't pay attention.
No,
I'm
the plot
saying
does not
they
make
should
sense.
be silent movies.
They really should.
They shouldn't have a dialogue at all.
I think we actually said that last week. Like, if they had took the dialogue out of it, the movie is actually kind of cool because it's just fun to watch. The problem is it's ruined whenever they try to explain what's happening.
Try and act.
Because what they explain doesn't help you understand it. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, it was a better Transformers movie than the last 2 or 3.
And are you basing
I
that
liked
on
the first one. I liked the Chicago one, so that was number 3. I liked 1, 3, and now 5.
Okay.
And mainly
is that based on story or effects or just the whole package?
The experience sitting in the theater watching all this shit unfold in front of my face.
All right.
Like, I love metal on metal Transformer fuck shit up. When Bumblebee goes at Optimus, you gotta be shitting me. That's the most badass shit I've ever seen. But then his voice comes back, and that's stupid.
What about when Mark Wahlberg jumped on Bumblebee as an attempt to stop Optimus Prime?
I'll give it that entire scene. Like, I was like, I want to be Mark Wahlberg. I want a goddamn metal thing on my arm.
You know he's just on a green mountain.
Into a goddamn... Yes, I want to be Nick Yeager or whatever his name is.
You want to live in the world of Transformers.
Yeah. I want to have a sword pop out of nowhere and stop a big, gigantic night Transformer from killing my friend.
Yeah.
That was a badass moment. I was like,
cool.
I want to have that experience right there.
Yeah.
And so that made me like it more than I thought I would.
I couldn't get past everything.
Yeah, you get over that when you've seen 4 of them already. You really do. You're desensitized to it.
Yeah, that was the problem. Like, I don't feel like I thought it was as cool as it would.
Yes.
Because I was literally having the soul sucked from my body by the dialogue.
Okay, so yeah, now the problems I had with the movie.
Okay.
Everything involving with the plot. Michael Bay is funny sometimes. But he doesn't
make a good
time
movie.
his funniness right.
That's what I don't understand about, I guess, Transformers in general, if they're all this bad. Because, like, Michael Bay can make some cool movies. Like, isn't Bad Boys 1 and 2 Michael Bay?
Yes.
And, like, Armageddon is a terrible movie, but it's fun to watch.
Right.
Like, at least it's watchable. Like, you can look at it and go, okay, this is never would happen. It's kind of dumb.
There's never been a Michael Bay, like, Oscar nom. Even close.
No, except for visual effects.
Right.
But never for story.
Yep.
Never for directing. But, I mean, this movie its plot, you said it. It would be better as a silent movie.
Yeah, it really would.
If they did.
I hated Josh Duhamel. Fucking hated that guy. I'm just like, you're in this to get a paycheck. Like, your career
What about
didn't
Anthony
go
Hopkins?
as well as you thought. I liked him.
You liked his character?
He was better than I thought. I thought he was literally going to be expedition or just explanation.
Right.
And that was it,
No,
which he was.
yeah.
But I mean, he was also kind of funny.
How
and
about
had
when he just
had an
died at the
attitude to
end
him.
for no reason?
Literally no reason. He's like, I don't want to be in another one. Kill me off.
Why is he just standing around
Because
waving
he
at Megatron?
fulfilled his moment, man.
What, by doing what? Meeting him up? Why couldn't he just go back to Britain and smoke cigars and drink whiskey the rest of his life?
Like, literally, he just distracted them. He gave them an extra 30 seconds. And
that even.
Yeah.
Because Megatron did this. Bam. And then he turned back around and went back to what he was doing.
It was just like he didn't turn on the power yet for another extra 10 seconds.
It's like he almost flipped the switch, and then he had to kill him. But then he flipped the switch.
And then there were so many times, like, the comedy in it just was either... It was...
I did laugh a couple times.
The lines just came when there was serious music playing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not the tone to be funny.
Well, like,
what are you doing?
Like when his assistant at the junkyard got shot with a beanbag. Like, that was actually funny.
Yeah.
But it was really badly timed.
Yeah.
Because they're in the middle of a war.
God, there was so many, like, just back and forth between the girl and Mark.
Yes.
Not the little girl, but the science lady.
Right.
Where it was like, there's this bam, 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 Transformers music going down like shit is epic, and it's like...
Yeah, it ruins the moment.
Like,
you
what
could
do you
just
think you're
watch
doing?
them shooting each other.
Right.
It would be so much better.
Like, if you had just a slightly better, like, I mean, you have too much tone. Like, Batman vs. Superman had none.
Okay.
You have too much.
Yeah.
If you, like, blended them, it would be a good movie.
Well, and if the plot made sense. I feel like if it had a good...
Even if it didn't, man.
I feel like if it had a good editor...
Yeah.
It might have made a huge difference.
I mean, still the plot wasn't
I have no
bad.
idea what happened in that movie.
A bad lady wanted to restart Cybertron.
Yeah, but why did we need the middle?
What was the middle?
Exactly.
The middle was explaining Unicron.
The middle was Bumblebee fights Nazis. The lady plays polo.
It was getting to know the new Merlin
She's
character,
with
yeah.
Merlin. There's a little girl that built a blue robot.
The little girl was... I liked her. She was a great actress, I thought.
They had to bring Megatron in for some unknown reason.
Like, Mark Wahlberg was terrible.
Like, they could have just brought Megatron in at the end. He's like, poof, oh my god, he's here! And then he could have just turned on the portal. They didn't have to show all those new characters and then kill them for no reason.
Oh my god, that was so dumb. The fucking title screen, like Suicide Squad, like, like look at this, you know this from the
it's
toys.
Like a whole motif they made for that 20
that
seconds
scene,
of movie.
Yeah, right. They were just like, here's Megatron's bad guys, so we could sell some fucking toys.
Right.
It's just like, you did not need that.
Right.
There was so much, I agree, that could have been cut. That whole submarine shit could have been cut.
Yeah, what was with the... Okay, I don't even know what happened to the submarine.
Yeah, no. They explained it, them jumping the blocks of it by saying they're in a transformer.
Right.
And I'm like, you couldn't have budgeted a 5-second scene of a sub sitting on some blocks, transforming into jumping into the ocean and driving away. Because literally, it cut of them on concrete. The thing was concreted to the fucking ground.
Yeah, it was stuck
and then
there.
next cut,
they're deep in the ocean.
Yes. They're in a river driving away with Bumblebee on the back. I'm like, wow, that was really bad.
Right. And also, why when they went straight up did the U.S. go, they went straight up, can't get them now?
Yeah.
Like, why did that happen?
So much dumb shit,
no
man.
one expected them to go straight up.
Also, a deep-sea submarine with a big, open, literal, human-sized window. That doesn't happen for pressure reasons.
How do you see where you're going if you don't have a window?
It's called one of the telescope damn things and radar. Why do you think those things exist? It's because they can't see out the front of the thing.
Do you think a submarine has windshield wipers on it?
It's a pressurized metal tube. It doesn't have holes in it that you can see out of.
We got some road
God, rage. Rage is coming.
Okay.
And then another scene. There was just so much of that. Quick cuts.
Yes.
They didn't explain shit. They were like, literally, there's the character's here, and we need that character go here. Let's just put him there.
Yeah.
Fuck telling how they got there.
That's honestly my biggest problem with the whole movie.
The little girl with the robot, it was like Mark and Chick are on the airplane or on the helicopter thing to go up to the island, the chamber or whatever.
Right.
And they're just in there, and they're like, we have to jump out. We're going to land hard. We might die. You can't breathe. You got to have these oxygen masks on.
Why did Mark Wahlberg was the only one with oxygen mask?
All of a sudden.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, just out of, like, literally a military guy and a military guy, there's a crevice in between them. This girl just like, whoop, I'm here, along with my robot.
Yeah, how'd she get on there?
How'd you get on? How'd you get on a literal hallway full of 30 people that didn't see you?
Well, and she had to get into the hangar and everything else, man.
Fucking unbelievable.
Okay, why was Mark Wahlberg the only one with an oxygen mask?
Yeah,
that really bothered me.
Because he was supposed to be giving it to the...
But he never did.
He did.
Oh, he did? No.
Yeah, he literally just sucked it himself.
He just sucked on it himself. I was watching.
Michael Bay was like, all right, Mark, I just want you to, like, puff on this whenever you feel like it, okay? You don't need to give it to her. Fuck that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
this
she's
is
a woman. They got
very,
hairs in their boobs.
Very stupid plot point that we're not even going to pay attention to the fact that you probably can't breathe on this high up in the air.
Yeah.
But just
like, they could have just
there.
left that out.
It's there. You could have it. You could have. You fucking could have. It's a Transformers movie.
Because when I saw it, all I was thinking was, how is everyone else breathing?
Right.
Like, they had one thing. There's 18 people
Military
on that plane.
people apparently have lungs the size of a fucking squirrel to where they could breathe the tiniest amount of air and still live. Yeah, they're just hyperventilating. Heartbeat is like 200 beats per minute. They are fucking having a heart attack.
Except for Mark Wahlberg.
God,
What
man.
about the wardrobe changes? Did you notice that?
Yes!
Like how he was in the sub in a white tank top, crawled
beater.
out of the sub in a Nathan Drake
long
outfit.
sleeve,
Yeah,
like thermal Henley. I'm like, where are you getting these clothes?
And then they're literally picked up off the top of that ship, and now he's in an Air Force jumpsuit, and so is she, but she's got a jean jacket on top of her Air Force jumpsuit.
It was so bad.
It's just like, I don't know if like it's product placement or like what they like. Why put it in? That's what I don't get.
There's so many continuity errors that literally, I think he just hated his continuity supervisor on set. Fuck you! I'm doing what I want. This is my last one. It's gonna be cool. Fuck off. Leave me alone.
It's like, you know what would make this outfit better? A fucking jean jacket. Put it on.
Put a jean jacket on over the top of a fucking jumpsuit.
Which you got out of nowhere. I just had a woman's jumpsuit laying around in their Ospreys, dude.
Yep. God, that movie. What else did I hate about it? I did not like that butler fucking robot.
Dude, I can't tell you why, but I'm with you. I hated him for some reason.
He was a dick. Like, I get that you want to have him like, murderous.
I don't know. That's what I didn't get. I think he was supposed to be funny.
Yeah, he's supposed to be funny.
I think he's supposed to be funny. But
and then he
just
failed
a dick.
so many times because he had a serious line to say. So you were like, oh, he's being
serious. What about
serious.
when he's playing the music in that one scene?
My dad loved that scene.
He thought it was funny.
Oh, yeah. He thought that was hilarious. Also, my entire audience was old people. So they laughed at the dumbest shit.
Why are old people seeing Transformers?
Second note, my mother went and she passed out 3 times over the course of that movie. Started snoring. I was like...
Do you remember what scenes?
As soon as the intro scene got over and no more action, and then Mark was either like talking at the junkyard with Friendo or whatever, and the TFWR or whatever the hell we're trying to find him.
Right.
That was definitely number 1.
Okay.
And then whenever Anthony Hopkins came on scene, she just went down immediately again. And then at the very end, when everything was going on, she was like...
I mean, didn't the movie feel like it was 8 hours long?
It did.
Yeah.
It really did.
It felt so long.
Yeah, my parents were like, why are we sitting through a 2-hour, 40
I kept
long
seeing Chris look at her
movie.
watch during the entire movie.
God.
And I remember she was like out of the movie. She goes, I was like, how did all that happen in 3 days? And she's like, I thought that movie was happening in real time.
There were some things that were redeemable.
I wish someone would just edit out the characters. Like if they
I bet you there is a fan edit. There will be. There's
if they
so
actually
many.
They just cut out the parts where your mom fell asleep. It'd probably be a way better movie.
Yeah. Like bringing both people from the first Transformers back. Just you
Did
shouldn't have
you
done.
understand the Shia LaBeouf stuff at all? Like why they showed a photo of him and
so
if he was dead
the Whitkins or whatever, Witwicky and Whitkins or whatever is not just based off of the family. You don't have to be. The family seems to not even know about it.
Okay,
because
so
Shia,
they just
his
have the
parents,
same
everything
name?
like that. They're Witwickies and descendants from the actual Witwicky man that found the Transformers.
But they had nothing to do with the club.
But they didn't in the movies that he was in because they hadn't thought of the Witwickens yet. They were like, what the fuck is that? We're not going to have that.
Yeah.
And then, this
but why
movie
do they
came
have a
along.
photo of Shia LaBeouf?
Literally
in the place
because it's a middle finger.
Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Michael Bay's like, this is the last one I'm going to do, so, yeah. Fuck the people
Do you
I
think
did it
he's
with.
really done?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, I don't either. He's gonna
gonna back
blow
up the
through
money
this
truck,
money
right?
in the fucking next year and be like, I need
Christmas
some
for
more.
him.
Oh yeah, it is.
They just like, here's $300 million to do
They
whatever
set
you
up,
want.
They set up 7 or 6 or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck in
That's
this
6,
one.
yeah.
And it's like, why did you market it like it's the last one? Because it's not.
Yeah,
it's the big fucking fat lie.
They
to
make
get
$1
people
billion.
in the seats.
Yeah, that's what it
and
is.
he's like, all the Transformers haters out there, you can hate all you want. You're still gonna see my movie. And I'm like,
I did.
Well, fuck you, man. You could just not be a dick about it and make good movies. But no, he literally hates the people. So he's like, I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna fuck you. You think this is my last one? No, it ain't. You think I'm gonna take this one seriously? No, I ain't. You think this plot's gonna be different than the last 4 I've done? No.
But people love him though.
Yeah, and it's because it's the CGI.
Dude,
there's how many animators do you think worked on that shit?
Oh, hundreds of thousands of
There's
animators.
like
all of ILM.
There was like 100 animators that work on Rick and Morty. Like Transformers 5 where every scene has CGI in it, basically.
Every scene.
Every scene.
Did you notice how during the all-robot scenes it was IMAX and during...
I really didn't,
I noticed that.
There was like one time at the end where I
couple
noticed
times.
the black bars get a little short. But yeah, I really didn't notice it over the course of the movie. But
The 3D was great. 3D was great.
3D was amazing. Man.
I loved that.
I felt they should have done the whole fucking thing in the Middle Ages. That would have been such a much better movie.
And yeah, they could have, but then they couldn't have brought all the... Well, they could have, because they brought Stanley Tucci to the Middle
Right!
Ages.
Like, just make
Mark
Mark Wahlberg King Arthur, and let's go with this shit.
Yeah, just say this is his great decision.
Don't just bring in that stuff out of nowhere for no reason, because you need a goddamn MacGuffin to find the staff. Like, just make the staff a shard or something, or
Michael
a preview.
Bay blow up stuff with trebuchets, man.
I'm fucking dying. I'm coughing.
That's what he did. He wanted to blow stuff up with trebuchets.
I have that disease.
Fireballs. That's what he wanted. He wanted to light balls on fire and throw them at things.
Yep. I watched a dude who literally said that the review that he was doing of Transformers was a non-review because he hadn't seen it and just guessed at the plot.
Okay.
And was very accurate.
I mean, if it's the same as all the other movies, then how hard could it be?
Mm-hmm. And based off the trailers and everything like that,
yeah.
you could just see what it was, and obviously it is what it is.
Why was the lady who created all the robots evil, and why did she not look like a Transformer?
Because that's Michael Bay's go-to bad guy. Is like, if it's we need something different, let's make him look more human, but still have some really small Transformer parts.
Hook cones for
that is Unicron.
Yeah, but why is it there?
Because it's like it's in the comics or whatever, the cartoons or shit. I don't know.
Because it just needs to be there.
Nah,
so is that part of it? Is that like I've never seen a Transformers cartoon and there's like a couple nerds out there they're just like, yeah, look at that.
Unicron's a big thing because apparently Earth is already a Transformer.
It's a Transformer.
Yes. No matter all the shit that has come to Earth over the years, the first like the cube thing that Shia had to deal with, or the pyramid and the Sun Eater in that one.
Sounds fun.
What else? They wanted to bring Cybertron to Earth to steal Earth's power from it.
Yep, that's this movie. Yep.
That was the third one as well.
Oh.
The fourth one, I think, was the same thing. They wanted to bring...
There's dinosaurs in that one, though. Age of Extinction.
Yeah. I don't remember what that one was about. Like, it was literally just a race of Transformers that came to eliminate the Autobots or something.
All right. Hey,
it's a little different.
So the whole movie was based on the fact that Cybertron was the Transformers' home.
Yes.
Like Optimus Prime drifting through space to go find his home.
Was to go to find his home.
And then his home explodes at the end of the movie and everyone's okay with it.
Yep.
Okay.
Does it explode? I think it's just there.
No, I think
we're
going to
come back to the next Transformers movie and
Earth just
Cybertron
has a giant tumor on it?
Yes! Our gravitational wave is fucked.
We
are out
gone.
by Pluto now, with the entire Earth's frozen.
It's on England. It's like crushing Europe.
Yeah,
like Europe's gone.
Oh yeah, there's so many places that the
because it crashed
human
into
population.
Hong Kong. So like from Hong Kong
halved.
to London. Actually, it'd be like New York.
Yeah,
because that's the middle
of where Stonehenge.
Yeah. So like from New York to Hong Kong is gone.
Yeah.
Right. So, like...
Really doesn't make sense.
That's like 3 billion people to get rid of that much of China, India, and all of Europe.
Yep.
It's like 3 to 4 billion people that
sure
they just
Africa
killed.
had some shit, too.
Yeah.
So, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, the global population's fucked. And they're
halved. Easily.
And all the news is like... It's going away. Everything should go back to normal soon. And we're like...
Except for Hong Kong.
Except for all the people that are dead.
Yeah. And they won't even mention that in the next
like
movie, will
shipping they? And international trade, the economy, all that shit.
It's gone.
Is devastating.
Yeah. Everyone's looting right now.
Oh,
yeah. The world
has become Mad Max.
Yeah. Oh, that's exactly what's happened. It's Mad Max.
And like how that shit can't affect climate or... nuclear winters, or
it would.
I
mean, I think
ash cloud.
That's why I think it blew up
from when the planet collided with Earth.
Yeah,
so much soil would have gone dirt and dust
it
and
collided
shit
very slowly
up into the air and then spread out over the atmosphere and clouded, burnt the sky. What scorched the sky is what the Matrix says.
Yeah,
I think.
they scorched the sky. They get rid of
where
the
sun goes away and you can't live on the surface anymore.
Yeah, let's burrow underground.
Michael Bay just killed Earth.
Well, I honestly thought I was watching the movie that the end game was it crashed into Earth and Earth exploded. Yeah. Because if a planet collides with a planet.
Yeah, that typically, yep. Mm-hmm.
Because, like, if a asteroid the size of Detroit hit Earth.
Yeah.
is extinct.
It's like that. It's like the Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather fight. Floyd's coming in and he's like, "I'm gonna punch you."
Right, and
then he just like touches his face a
Right.
little bit. And it's just
That's
like,
what it was like.
Caresses his jaw.
Right. Well, no, it's more like from this angle, his fist is moving at full speed, and from this angle, he's doing this. Because that's what it was like. You see it scrape past the moon at light speed, and then you see it hit Earth like.
And then it just, ooh, I'm gonna stop right on the surface. There you go, just enough. We're not trying to throw it off the sun's axis.
Well, that's what didn't make sense to me.
Oh yeah, it didn't make sense at all.
Why they got to suck the Earth's power?
It does not make
right
any goddamn sense at all. But god damn it, was it great to fucking see a planet just scrape off half of the human population, man. It was great to see.
And they're just not even going to acknowledge it in the next movie.
Well, they might.
No, because they're in Egypt during the after credits scene, and the pyramids and stuff, they're all dead.
Yeah, they were gone.
But the planet's gone.
Yeah.
So I think the planet's gone, man. I think it disintegrated. It evaporated into
nothing. It might have like went off, but no, that happened in the third one. It was like getting teleported here, and they stopped the teleportation process, and then already some of it did get transported here.
But it's just gone in the fourth one.
Yeah, just
well,
gone.
NASA sends janitors up. They just kind of like push it back into space. Get out
go
of
that
here.
way.
You go over there.
Yep.
Go hit Venus.
It's a great movie to just completely fantasize out of all reality and science and logic.
I just wish it didn't have dialogue. If it didn't have dialogue, it'd be better. Was the Nazi scene ruined a little bit, knowing that was Winston Churchill's manor?
Yeah, it was so unnecessary too.
Yeah,
just completely unnecessary.
Like I didn't know anything about Bumblebee. I don't know anything about him.
I knew
he's Mark
fuck.
Wahlberg's friend. If he just would have fought Optimus Prime, I just would have been like, cool. Bumblebee can fight Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
They didn't need to explain that he fought Nazis, which, by the way, not a big deal. Like,
it's like
a Transformer fighting a swarm of humans doesn't mean anything to me.
The whole point of that Nazi thing was that he killed people. He killed humans.
Yeah, but who cares?
Shit. Well, they don't. Autobots don't kill humans.
Oh, okay.
They protect the human race and Earth and all that
But it was
shit.
a war.
Right.
Like, you don't kill humans either, but if you get drafted...
Mark Wahlberg was like, Optimus is evil now. He's going to kill the entire planet. You have to become that guy that you were and kill your friend.
Yeah, but he never actually killed him.
He never was going to kill him. He was just fucking with him
unnecessary.
until he can get his voice box working again, and then he's like, oh, yeah, that thing I've been struggling
also,
with.
his voice box stopped working 5 minutes later. Because the rest of the movie, he was talking with the radio and everything again.
I think
Why?
so. Dude, it happens every time. He's gotten his voice back once before, too.
He got his voice back 3 times in that movie.
He's got it once before in another movie, too. God, they're so repetitive.
But Optimus Prime said, I haven't heard your voice in a million years.
Right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, man.
Ignores previous, shit that's canon.
Well, can we talk about... Can we talk about a good movie?
Sure.
And how Hannibal Burress posted on Twitter that he would give $500 to anyone who would attend a, quote, special event for him. And apparently the lookalike of Hannibal Burress went to the Spider-Man Homecoming premiere and got interviewed as Hannibal Burress.
What? So he pulled like a stunt?
He just didn't want to go to the Spider-Man movie premiere. So he offered $500 to anyone who would impersonate him and go to the Spider-Man premiere for him. And this lovely man right here went and pretended to be Hannibal Burress, answered questions as Hannibal Burress, watched the movie as Hannibal Burress.
I want to see an interview and see if he sounds like him.
We can probably pull that up.
Great.
Let me see if we can pull that up.
That's the best thing about Hannibal is he's got a unique voice.
Well, he doesn't look anything like Hannibal Burress.
Not really, a little bit.
I mean,
He's
they got one thing in
black
common.
Guy.
Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. All right, let's look here.
Not really as big. Yeah, I mean, kinda. For $500, that's the best you're gonna get.
That's a $500 quality look, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you gotta pay top dollar to get yourself.
Hannibal Burress look alike Spider-Man. Let's see if there's a YouTube video. Let me turn on the, make sure we actually can hear it on the stream. Let's see. Okay, here's a video. This is from Inside Edition, so this ought to be good.
I am here with Hannibal Burress. It sure looks like your normal interview on the red carpet.
Working with the cast, this was a great time. I had a blast.
Just one problem.
He doesn't sound like him at all.
At the Spider-Man Homecoming premiere in L.A., comedian Hannibal Burress, who plays Coach Wilson in the movie, hired an imposter to walk the red carpet in place of him, and he kind of pulled it off.
So tell me, what is it like to be part of such an incredibly huge universe like this?
You know, it was a great opportunity.
Look for yourself. Here's the real Hannibal Burress, and here's the imposter. So who is the doppelganger?
And that chick, did that chick know? No! She's just like, yeah, this is Hannibal.
I think she did.
Were you nervous?
A little bit, yeah.
And what, did Hannibal have something to do? Was this just a prank?
I didn't really know the details until I got there, so I didn't really know. It happened last minute.
His name is Joe Carroll, and he's an actor and author of Sinful
Dude's just
Confessions.
like, Hannibal's like, I'm gonna make this random dude famous. There you go, man.
Earlier in the day, Hannibal Burress sent a tweet to his fans, offering $500 for a look-alike with solid comedic timing for an event tonight.
With solid comedic timing.
Hannibal Burress.
That's
Hannibal
amazing.
Burress.
Burress.
Did you hear that?
He's gonna harass you.
All right, you guys, that was Hannibal Burress.
She didn't even know his name. Of course she didn't know that it was a
He said that she might be in on it. He thought she knew,
God,
but
dude,
that didn't sound like
that's
it.
just brilliant right there.
That's
dude.
hilarious. That man is funny.
It's Spider-Man.
Mhm.
It's not like some indie movie.
That's a huge movie.
It's a Marvel movie.
Yep.
He's like, no, I'm not going to that.
I was watching a video that people were saying there's too much Robert Downey Jr. in the MCU.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He's
I don't
taking
know.
over too many movies because he basically took over Civil War. He took over this
Yeah, but
movie.
Civil War was about
Spider-Man.
him, in my opinion.
It was, but then why name it Captain America?
Because they couldn't have Iron Man
Four?
Because then they'd have to pay Robert
Stupid.
Downey Jr. more money.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Oh, God. He says, he apparently, Hannibal is, I'm reading the comments on Reddit. Apparently Hannibal on Twitter said that Spider-Man is in theaters on July 8th. And then he followed up and said, oh, actually it's in theaters on July 7th, but July 8th too.
Technically, he wasn't wrong. He just
Right.
got it's out before then too.
He is a funny man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's a great any videos on him, but no, I don't think so. So I don't know, dude. That's really funny to me, man.
Are you excited for Spider-Man?
I'm not excited as I should be. Probably it's getting great reviews.
Really?
Yeah, like it's a great year for superhero movies. Like the least liked superhero movie by reviews this year is Guardians 2.
Wow.
So that tells you how like good Wonder Woman is and Spider-Man is, and what was the other one that came out earlier this year?
Shoot.
I'm so dumb. I can't
Comic
remember the name
book
of it.
movie?
Yeah.
Was it a Marvel?
Yeah, I just looked at it the other day.
Doctor Strange, I thought was the last
That
one.
was last year. Maybe it wasn't a Marvel one.
DC didn't have one. I didn't think. Yeah, I don't think there was any other one this year.
Yeah.
Then again, I might just could be completely missing one out.
I don't know, man. People are loving
off my
Spider-Man.
head.
I don't know why it took me to this random post. Let's not go to this random post of Drax stabbing things. Yeah, right here. So here's a picture of Logan. Logan is the other one.
That is.
Yeah.
Yep. I forgot about X-Men.
Yep. So,
And Warner.
So man, I don't know. I'm not as hyped as I probably.
I feel like
I just don't care about Spider-Man that much.
Maybe an interesting thing, because I watched this video and they said that that Sony is not being smart because they think that Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man is the #1 selling feature of Spider-Man.
Yes.
And that's why they're
I
advertising
think that's
him
part
in
of why
every
I
single
don't
thing.
want to see it as much.
But if you look at like percentage-wise of what's your favorite comic book hero, Spider-Man is above
he
every
crushes it.
single person.
I mean, there's podcast people, like there's video game podcasts and movie podcasts.
Oh,
I listen to.
yeah.
All of them are like, anytime we post a YouTube video or a snippet and it has Spider-Man in the title, it gets 10 times more views than anything else. Like, I was listening to IGN at the E3, and they were talking about how, like, there's all these like Last of Us 2's coming out, the new Uncharted's coming out, and they post a Spider-Man video, just like new Spider-Man trailer, and it gets 10 times as many views as gameplay from another huge game.
Yeah.
People love Spider-Man.
So I mean, my point in
Sony's
that,
badly ran. I mean, they made the emoji
right, movie. But what if they, I'm not saying they did this on purpose because I don't think they're this smart, but on accident, what if they're hiding a good movie?
I think they are.
They're showing all the Robert Downey Jr. scenes because those are the only ones with him in it, and then everything else is a good Spider-Man movie because MCU's doing
that much.
I really hope
I just
not.
got done talking about how like I like Robert Downey Jr.'s character.
Yeah,
I'm not tired of seeing him, but I always am apprehensive about his movies because I will get tired of him if the movie is too much about him.
Yeah.
Like if it's an Iron Man movie, that's different because those have always been more about Tony Stark than they have been Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
But like even Civil War, I was like, all right, how much Iron Man's in this movie? And then it's not, they don't focus too much on Iron Man.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man, I think I'm the same way. Like how much Iron Man is in this Spider-Man movie. And if it's done like all the other Marvel movies and it's very little, I'm okay with that. Because he doesn't annoy me. The character doesn't annoy me. What annoys me is when people get on his dick about how great he is, and if they make an entire movie because Iron Man's in it, that I don't like.
Right.
But so far they've never like got into the hype of this is a movie and look, Iron Man's in it. Look, Iron Man's in it. But that's how Spider-Man's been marketed.
I like Robert Downey Jr.'s character, like you said, and the way that he plays Tony Stark and everything like that. But I also don't like how they've really written Tony in these multiple film series, you know, like it's going on. Like he is the entire reason for the Sokovia Accords.
Right.
And then he's all for it whenever it comes out. He's like, half of him is, I'm going to build this fucking robot that I don't know what the hell it's going to do.
Right.
And then the other half of him is like, we should control what our capabilities and we should have limitations on ourselves. Even though he breaks those limitations to fucking build a stupid goddamn robot.
Well, I think that's part of his character, and that's honestly why I like Iron Man. The Iron Man I don't like is the Iron Man I think the dumb people like, which is he's funny and he's rich. And that's not really what Iron Man's ever been about.
Yeah.
Like, maybe the first half of Iron Man 1 was that way.
Right.
But
'cause that's who
it
he
was
was.
supposed to be that way. And then they're saying, look, Iron Man changed. Like, one of the reasons I love Iron Man and Civil War, and if you look at the marketing, you get none of this. It's just boom, boom, shoot big lasers, fly around, make a snappy quip. But in Iron Man, like, I think in Civil War, the movie's really about Tony Stark. Like, it follows Cap, and it's about Cap and Bucky's relationship. But it's really about Tony Stark and his relationship with himself and everything around him. Like, in Iron Man 2, you know, he does all the stuff and joins the Avengers and all this. And then in Avengers 1, he sacrifices his life. And he really doesn't get a lot of credit for saving Earth. In reality, like everyone's on Captain America.
You were just about to nuke 8 million people.
Right, and he prevented it at what could have been very easily the end of his own life. Okay? Captain America has never done that.
No.
In that type of scale. But everyone loves Captain America because he's so wholesome and he's an American soldier and all that. And so Tony Stark has that eaten up inside of him.
Yeah.
And then in Avengers, he accidentally builds Ultron. Okay? His fault. And then he swears to never do it again, and then he builds Vision, which is his fault. And everyone's hating him for these things. Like all these movies are about Tony Stark being bad and being the idiot, and it's his problem. And then in Iron Man 3, he builds all these suits, and Gwyneth Paltrow leaves him because he's obsessed. And so that's his fault, too, that he can't do it, and now he's obsessed, and that's his problem, you know? And then in Civil War, he kills that kid, and some lady blames him for the Avengers killing some kid, and then Captain America blames him for the Sokovia Accords, which he supports. And at the end of Civil War, when he finds out he has video proof and evidence that Bucky killed his mom, everyone's like, nah, it's okay, he didn't mean it. And that's what I think triggers Tony Stark into his rage mode.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really cool arc that most people don't notice in the MCU, is that everyone blames him for every single thing that's been bad in the world is Tony Stark's fault. And then this guy that Captain America loves, Captain America, who's not really as heroic as Tony Stark, because remember, he saved the world when Sokovia went in the air. I mean, granted, it was his fault, but Sokovia dropping would have been a planet-wide extinction.
Yes.
That was the point. Just like a big planet coming in and crushing Earth. A tiny little town dropping on the Earth from miles above would extinct the planet, okay? So he saved the world then. He saved the world in Avengers 1. He's the world saver.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone loves Captain America. Captain America gets Bucky, and when he finally sees that Bucky actually killed Tony Stark's mother, and then Captain America says, he didn't mean it, man. Tony Stark gets mad because everything has been his fault, even though he's been saving the world. But Bucky can get a free pass on killing Tony Stark's mom.
That makes sense.
And so, I think that's one of the coolest characters in the MCU.
Right.
Because he's got... And so far, every movie has added to that, which is why I'm really excited to see the people who directed Civil War and Winter Soldier also do the next 2 Avengers movies. Because I feel they get it. But that's why I'm worried about Spider-Man, because if any movie's just going to be like, hey, Tony Stark, in this movie, you're going to have really cool tech, you're going to make sassy comments, and you're going to shoot things, it's going to be this movie. Yeah. And that's going to ruin the Tony Stark character that I actually like, which is this kind of internally pained but outwardly projecting I'm a badass mentality.
Right.
But everyone knows it's fake that are his friends, and if they ruin it in Spider-Man, I'm going to be a little mad about it. Also, I just don't really care about Spider-Man.
I mean...
I just really don't care about Spider-Man.
The new game looks pretty amazing.
Yeah, it does. But, if it didn't have Spider-Man in it, I would still think it was cool. The fact that it's Spider-Man doesn't make me more excited for it, I think.
Yeah, I feel like it's just the concept of Spider-Man, swinging around like a Tarzan
but Cameron's
dude.
He is so excited for Spider-Man to come out as the game. He's hyped about Spider-Man in ways that I would be hyped if they said The Witcher 4 is coming out. Just because it's Spider-Man.
Right.
Nothing else. Just because it's Spider-Man. And there's a lot of people like this guy Brian I used to work with. He loved Spider-Man.
It's got to be the comics. The comics have to be really well written.
Or I think there was a cool TV show in the 90s and stuff that people loved. I don't know, man, but people love Spider-Man.
Nope. Not my favorite.
No.
I don't really
I'm going to go
have
see
a
it
favorite.
because I think it's going to be good.
I mean, Batman was my favorite, but now,
No?
I can't take Batfleck.
What do you think about this quote from the director of Batman, Matt Reeves, who says, "There's a chance to do an almost noir-driven detective version of Batman that is point-of-view driven in a very, very powerful way that will hopefully connect you to what's going on inside of his head as in relation to his Batman movie." I guess it's going to be a dark character study of Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah. I'm down.
I mean, it sounds... Wasn't that Batman Begins?
Yeah. Kind of, except weirder. Because it wasn't really Batman. It was like this Chinese fucking
That's true.
Asian
Ra's al Ghul was there.
Murder culture.
But wasn't that what made Batman good? I think. I mean, we talk about this a ton on the show. That's what makes Marvel movies good. That's why there's the 4 movies that came out today that are 80% plus in Rotten Tomatoes, and people were superhero fatigue. It doesn't exist, and the reason is because Guardians of the Galaxy is a comedy space opera. I'm guessing Spider-Man's probably a more
generic,
coming of age story.
Tale,
like a coming of age story, like a Breakfast Club style. And then Wonder Woman is. I didn't see it, but I assume it has its own. It's a World War II. It's a World War I movie.
Yep.
And then and Logan, I didn't see that one either, but it's like a travel Mad Max style movie.
Yeah, there was a movie that they said it was really similar to. God, I forget what it was. It was almost take for take kind of plot wise.
Yeah.
It was definitely not a superhero movie, but it was an old western.
But that's exactly the point. These are movies that are good regardless if there's a superhero in it or not.
Right. It's just they're good. Specific genre movies with a superhero
Where I feel
star.
like Warner is Batman vs. Superman is an awesome title that'll sell tickets. Make a movie about it.
And not, this is a good story that needs to be told.
Right. And so when I see something it's going to be a point-of-view driven, get inside Bruce Wayne's head, I'm like, that's Batman Begins. Why are you competing with Chris Nolan's Batman films? It's Christopher Nolan, dude.
Yeah.
It's Christopher Nolan. You don't make... Those are his best films. And that man's made some great movies, and he made Batman. I don't envy the people who have to remake Batman.
Dang it. I watched a video about how Dark Knight Rises actually isn't that bad of a film.
I liked it. Did people not like Dark Knight Rises?
People don't like it because of the plot, I think. They don't. It's not their favorite. It's definitely, I feel like, if it's not Batman Begins, it's their least.
Well, it's better than any other.
Well, everyone
if you take
just
the
thought
other
that,
two out.
Yeah, you can't compete with Mr. Heath Ledger. You just can't.
No. They should have quit after The Dark Knight.
They really should have.
He should have made that movie last.
Yep.
because that's one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah.
It's not the best Batman movie.
It's one of the best movies of all time.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not really fair to compare The Dark Knight Rises with The Dark Knight, because you can't make two best movies of all time, can you?
It's just like...
Has anyone ever done that, made two of the best movies of all time?
James Cameron.
He's...
Steven Spielberg.
No, definitely not Steven Spielberg. No. Probably not, right?
Well...
Best movies of all time?
No, best movies of all time is like what? Like Citizen Kane?
Well, what are your best movies of all time? Honestly, I might put like... God, Interstellar, Inception, and Dark Knight are really good movies.
I mean, still, yeah. I've seen arguments on all of them, though.
Like how they're not as good as
the
you
plot's
think.
not as sound as you would think it would be. Like,
I would love to see.
Interstellar.
I would love to see Inception,
especially Interstellar,
be picked apart. Interstellar, you can pick apart because of science, though.
Yeah,
like they took some liberties with to make this work, we're gonna do this, but like they invented the universe for Inception, so I would love to see some continuity descriptions, in that.
Yeah, I don't think there's
because how could you do it? People, I think, just think that movie's dumb. Yeah. Like they're like, this doesn't happen in real life, and I think that's why they hate it. Because honestly, I think that's why people don't like Interstellar. I've met a lot of people that think Interstellar is boring. Yeah, I don't get that either. I just don't get because it's so well done. I mean, you just those people have no imagination or want to imagine space travel at all. For me,
doesn't interest them in the slightest.
I feel like those are the people who don't like or who do like the Transformers movies. Right, like they can't comprehend acting and plot, and so
they just want
things
to explode in their face.
Yeah.
Why is the big explosion?
There's a big explosion in 5 minutes.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's what I feel like is happening there.
Yeah, Interstellar. There's definitely I don't know. I've heard people poke holes in it, but it's still good. I don't know what my favorite movie would be though.
My favorite movie of all time is Children of Men.
Really?
It's my favorite movie of all time. It's like a dystopian future that could easily come true. It's amazingly directed, and it's depressing as all get out, which I love. I love movies that are depressing.
As to why that's your favorite.
I just love that movie. I don't know. I think I watched it at a time in my life where I don't really know what I was going through because it was like 12 years ago, but I feel like it resonated with me somehow. Like there's actually was a big article written by like The Economist or something about similarities between Children of Men and today's culture, and they like interviewed Alfonso Cuarón and like his creative team, and like the research that they did for that movie they did with like economists, and they wanted to make the setting as accurate as possible if something like this happened. And so when the interviewer was basically like, are you surprised at all to see that like some of your dystopian things are slowly starting to rear their head? He's like, no, like we purposely made the movie to be like, this is what would happen if some really horrible stuff went down. This is what would happen. Shit. And there's like this 12-page article. Like,
I need to rewatch it because it's been a second since I've seen it, but I do remember it being amazing.
Yeah, it's just it's one of those movies that's like it's more about the subtext. Like the actual movie itself isn't that.
I've seen a video on YouTube. It's
crazy.
Like Children of Men, don't ignore the background.
Right. That's what it's like. And you know me, I love the subtleties and things, and less about the foreground, which is probably why I hate Transformers because there's no subtlety.
There's literally no background. Everything is so zoomed in that you can't see anything except the foreground.
That's so true, dude. I am so intimately aware of Anthony Hopkins' face right now.
Ah, dude. Michael Bay's like, they've said he's an artist, so he's got to do different shots than we're used to, so he's got to put the camera in your nose. Yeah. In your face.
It's like, I haven't seen zooms that close to people's heads since Peter Jackson.
Right.
Like, it's crazy.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, that movie is, like, really about, like, the commentary on society more than it is about the fact that Clive Owen is escorting this girl.
Well, and then any time that you have a longer than, like, 4-minute one-take shot in a movie, you got me.
That's driving in a car?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. Yeah, when you like
They've
that...
done it, I think they did, like, 2 of them.
I think there's 3 12-minute scenes.
Like the one where he's going through that building or something like that.
Yes, the one at the end where after the lady had
they walk
birth,
through the whole thing. Yeah,
they walk through the entire compound, and she's holding a baby, and they walk, and
Everyone
there's
has to be
tanks rolling in,
quiet
and there's gunshots going off.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, because at one point someone gets shot and blood splatters on the camera,
Mhm.
and it stays on the camera for the next 6 or 7 minutes because it's all one take.
That's so cool.
It's ridiculous.
God.
And he's the dude who did Gravity, which I believe they gave him an Oscar for because of Children of Men.
Really? That's funny. What's his name? Alfonso Cuarón?
Yeah. He also did Harry Potter 3. Those are like his only movies. He did a Spanish film,
Right.
and then he did Harry Potter 3, and then he did Children of Men, and then Gravity. And then he did The Revenant.
That's yeah.
No,
okay.
he didn't do The Revenant.
No.
His good friend did The Revenant.
I thought it was. That name sounds familiar.
Yeah. The Revenant guy is like his friend.
Alejandro
Yeah,
something
yeah.
or whatever.
That
did
guy
The
is like
Revenant.
his friend from film school.
Well, that makes sense
Like, they're
because
two
both
dudes.
had very long take shots on
Yes.
them. And it's like I've seen so
maybe
many
it's-
people say like this is what movies should be.
Yeah.
This is what action scenes
Yeah.
should be.
And
is
they're
one
both
take
Spanish
where you
directors.
can understand what you're seeing, the relationship in space and time and characters and movement. But not this cut 15 times to show one punch.
Yeah. Well, remember the guy who did The Revenant did Birdman.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he did. And that's the movie that's supposed to look like it takes place in all one take.
Right.
I mean, it obviously doesn't
Yeah.
because of editing trickery, but yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, there were several long takes.
Yes,
though,
there
but-
are long takes, but the whole movie isn't a
You remember that
single
one movie I told you about that one time? That was an entire one
take. The
take.
Russian one?
Yeah, it's Silent House or
Yeah.
something like that. I
Yeah.
still own it. And it's definitely not a one take, but there,
Oh,
you,
really?
You could tell when the camera.
There was like this one dance movie
digitally
that was
cut
one
it
take,
together.
but that's because it was like a play that
Yeah.
they just choreographed and
Right.
rehearsed 100 times, and that's not nearly as impressive as like gunshots going off and shattering props and a tank rolling up
It's
and blowing
just
up
like,
a building.
you know, as a director, if you do one of those shots, you're gonna get praise for it.
Right. Because it's next
hard
to impossible
do,
to do. Yeah.
But you're gonna get praise for it. So if you're going into the mindset of making a movie to be the best movie it can be,
right.
why would you not?
Well, I honestly think that these people are so talented, they don't think that way.
Yeah.
I think they're literally just like, this is the normal thing to do.
Right.
Because it tells my story the best way.
Mhm.
Where Michael Bay goes, how many trebuchets can we fit in a frame? 80? Let's make it 90.
Well, zoom out even more. Bird's eye, satellite eye. Let's go.
Make a planet crash into a trebuchet! I mean, how does he turn up the burners for the next movie,
He
dude?
doesn't. There's nothing you could do.
What can
There's
you do?
nothing. Like, literally, in every previous movie, there's been a giant planet that's about to kill Earth,
What if
but
there's-
it never actually touches Earth. This is the first time that it's touched Earth and literally killed thousands,
So
millions of
next
people.
movie, Earth's gonna blow up.
Right. Like, Unicron just has to, like,
they're gonna-
enslave humanity
They're gonna
or some
blow
shit.
up Earth, and then it's gonna rebuild itself somehow at the end of the movie. And Mark Wahlberg's gonna be alive.
What was that? Oh, yeah. I blazed through, like, the first, 2 seasons of Rick and Morty last night.
Okay.
There was an episode in there where he's like, you're the next Adam, and she's the next Eve. I'm blowing up the entire planet. Let's do this. And I'm
Cameron
like,
loves that show.
I feel like that was definitely, that could be a transfer.
I yelled at him for I don't like Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Because everyone likes it.
That's why I never watched it.
Yep.
And now I'm watching it, and
Is it good?
It's funny.
Is it? How good is it though?
It's funny.
Like up to the hype funny,
if
or
you want the best comic gore and violence you'll ever see, better than Family Guy, better than anything animated, yeah, it's better.
okay? Because Cameron literally told me that not that many
There's a
people
Purge
watch
episode. There's an Inception episode. There is there's a couple other ones that I watched, but yeah,
it. How
literally,
many episodes are there? Like 24 or something?
There was
Is it
3 in the first season, and I
3
think
episodes?
Three, because this is Dan Harmon. He did
Yeah,
Community,
yeah,
so
yeah,
he's
yeah.
small scale, but he's got a cult following to
Yeah.
him. And then once he got on Adult Swim, after they proved
How
that
many
it
in
could
2
take,
seasons? How many of them in the second
I think
season?
it was like 10 or I want to
So
say.
they have like 15 episodes?
Yeah, it's
That's
not
it.
a lot, and season 3 is just about to come out. So
Dude, I see a new meme on Reddit every day.
it's so
and there's
popular.
only 15 episodes?
I think I don't maybe more, but
Well, there's only 2 seasons.
Right.
I know that for sure.
Yep.
Because Adult Swim on April Fools aired the season premiere of season 3 and then has been re-airing that same episode ever since.
It's 3 o'clock.
Hey, it's 3 o'clock, man!
It's coming back on July 30th.
Okay.
Is when it comes back. But Shit. I don't know how to
It should tell you.
episode guide. Season 2 has
11. No, that's season 1. Season 1 has 11.
Oh, okay. Season 2 has 10.
So there's
Season 3
21
has
episodes
14, yeah.
total.
Out right now, yeah. It's crazy, man. Everybody's on that show's dick. It's in Hot Topic. It's
I know,
on
I hate
Reddit.
it. That's why I hate
on
it.
Facebook.
I
It's
can't
everywhere.
escape it.
Everywhere.
Cameron told me that it was on a small network, and that's why not that many people watch it.
Two dudes created it, Justin Roiland and Dan Harmon. Justin Roiland voices both Rick and Morty.
Yeah, it's kind of like a South Park situation.
Oh,
I
yeah.
literally told him it's South Park 10 years ago. Like, that's what it feels like to me. Where, it's this smaller show on a cable network that...
It's better animation.
Well, that's not hard to do.
Yeah, but it's exactly South
I mean,
Park.
South Park
I feel like
was made
South
with
Park has
literal
exactly the same amount of
cardboard.
violence, and
Yeah.
it's just more sciencey.
Yeah.
The Rick guy's a scientist and can invent anything basically, and so he's got multi-dimensional travel, time freezing.
I know they go
stuff like that.
go all over
yeah,
these
they just
dimensions
go to
and
random
stuff.
planets.
Yeah.
And so there's a purge planet. There.
I mean, it sounds kind of funny.
They have to inception like a really knocked off version of Freddy from 13th Street or whatever, knife guy.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
And they have to incept his dreams
Okay.
and figure out what he is scared of, and then
So
he's
it is
scared
so
of high
it's,
school.
So it's South Park,
yeah, it is.
but with a new gimmick.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. It's funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
I mean, it sounds funny. I'm just
Rick's always drunk.
I'm gonna refuse
just
to watch it
constantly
just
drunk.
because everyone tells me it's so good.
But yeah, it's definitely not as bad as I thought.
I just couldn't believe Cameron told me that no one watched it because that's all I hear about is Rick and Morty.
Oh yeah, everybody watches that.
That's all I hear about. I mean, you don't go.
I thought it was a kids show.
No, it's like
I thought it was like a good Cartoon Network show.
I thought it was like Adventure Time,
Yeah.
where it's a kids show that adults like.
Right.
But no, it's an adult show.
an
It's
adult
South
show.
Park.
Yeah.
Got it.
Uh-huh.
It's for adults.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But if it's on Adult Swim, it's usually good. But I'm just
So
tired
much
of seeing.
violence.
Like Venture Brothers is another one of those shows that everyone talks about all the
Yeah.
time, and it's on Adult Swim, and I'm just like, I can't watch it.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. Maybe I'm too old. I think I'm literally in the get off my lawn stage.
Yeah.
Because like Cameron, he's 27, I think, and like there's like 3 years of Adult Swim that I watched that Cameron probably didn't, that were the most influential years of Adult Swim, when it was the C Lab and the Aqua Teen.
Right.
And that's the Adult Swim I know. It's pre-Family Guy Adult Swim. And once they started getting the Family Guy and Futurama, they started making way more original programs. And I literally jumped out when they started doing like the Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
Like I watched the Space Ghost and all those stupid old man shows.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, I feel like that's what people go, "Wow, you like C Lab?
Yeah.
What an old man!"
Huh.
Because Rick and Morty's the
I
new
remember
hotness.
that shit. I remember Space Ghost. I was give it 6 and didn't understand it and didn't want to. But
well, you had to know of C Lab because me and Brian talked about it all the time on Seth and Brian because we watched it together. It was one of the funniest shows on the planet.
What was the C Lab? Was like the late night show.
C Lab was
Ghost Man. Or
they
something?
had C Lab 2020 in like the 50s, and it was a Hanna-Barbera cartoon like Yogi Bear and the Flintstones, and they literally just took the same models of characters and changed it to C Lab 2021 and made it just a whole bunch of gay jokes, violence, and just crazy nonsense.
So no, that's not the one I'm thinking of then, right?
Which one are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of the one with like the ghost guy who.
That's Space Ghost. That was like an interview
literally
show.
a late night show,
that
except
built
animated.
Adult Swim,
Right?
Because what they would do is they would record interviews with people, ask them normal interview questions, and then in editing they would change the questions and keep the answers. And people got really mad about it.
Yeah,
and then like
I
the
bet.
second or third season in, all they could get was like comedians or people who were totally out of it. Like
Yeah.
they get like Jesse Ventura, you know, like the governor of Minnesota
right.
or whatever, and he'd go on it and he wouldn't know what the show was. He didn't have an interview he turned down. And so like they would
That
only
dude's
get people
crazy.
like that. And like Billy West, who voices a bunch of stuff in
That
like The
dude's
Simpsons.
crazy. That's the dude that Chris Kyle said that he punched in the face, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a conspiracy theorist, not
9/11 doesn't exist. I've
Yes.
seen him on Joe Rogan.
He's not quite up to the frogs returning as gay
Right.
type, but he's pretty close.
He's ex-military. I think he's ex-SEAL.
Yeah, I
Pretty
feel like
sure.
he's actually has brain problems from
Right.
his military service.
Maybe.
More than Alex Jones, who's just an asshole.
Yeah, that man's crazy. I watched a video. Oh my God. It was the best Alex Jones content I've ever seen. Ever. I stopped hearing crazy and was like, what if this dude's right? I was like, that's a terrible.
All right, let's hear it, man. What was it?
I can't even remember because it was so insane. He smoked pot.
Okay.
He went on the Joe Rogan show, I think last year sometime.
Okay.
Smoked some dope before the show and then started drinking. So he got crossfaded as the episode went on.
Okay.
And just started going crazy. Like he took off his headphones, put them back on. Took off his headphones, put them back on. And like almost like Eddie Bravo's like this fight stupid comedian guy that's sitting next to him on Joe's show. And he's like, come on, man. Hit me in the arm. Hit me right there. Give me a good punch. Give it to me. Come on. Wouldn't take no for an answer because he's just gone.
Well,
man.
I'm guessing the guy on Joe Rogan show who is a wrestler, right?
Like MMA guy. I
yeah,
think.
MMA. That's what he
yeah.
is. Like he's anyone who hangs out with him. I'm guessing is equally
I don't really know
as,
Eddie Bravo's
strong.
his name, but yes, he's a big dude,
Yeah.
so he could definitely punch Alex Jones' face in. But it was just insane the way the amount of crazy he got. That wasn't sober Alex Jones
Right.
crazy. This was
Right.
fucked up Alex
Right.
Jones
This
crazy.
is without a filter, Alex Jones.
And he's like, all right, Joe, you want to know what's going on in the world right now? If you want to know what's everything going on right now, I'm going to tell you right now. And just goes on a spiel, man, just saying like all the rich people are trying to transform into higher beings and that they're getting powered by an exoplanet or something that's around Earth. And that, I want you to watch it so bad because it's so crazy.
You don't even remember what it is.
I don't
You
even
just know it's
remember
great.
because I know it's just drunk ramblings from the most madman on the internet. But it was some crazy ass shit, man.
Dude, can we talk about some other crazy ass shit?
Oh
right here?
God.
This is about casinos.
Yes.
I
you
got
wanted
this last week.
You want to talk about this?
I had no idea.
Okay.
Because you've been to Vegas. Did you play slot machines when you were there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you win anything?
Every once in a while, yeah.
So when you played a slot machine, how did you feel like it worked?
You
Like,
can place a
software-wise.
certain. Oh,
Like, do you think like it's actually like random and like do you
No.
think there's chances for you to win?
I know that
and-
they're programmed to give
Okay.
you about like a 10 to 20% win
okay.
average.
This guy is okay. So this all started because some lady sued a casino
Okay.
because she won the jackpot, but then the casino said no, you didn't. It was a software error that said you won, but you really didn't, and so they offered her a steak dinner gift certificate, and so she sued the casino.
I would do the same.
And she lost because it was a software error, and apparently in some fine print or something somewhere, they're not responsible for that.
That's shit.
And so someone on Reddit said, explain like I'm 5 how casinos can refuse to pay a jackpot, claiming the machine is broken, but not pay back everyone who played that machine and lost.
Mm-hmm.
And then some guy replied who is a software developer for slot machines, and he said, I wrote software for these one-armed bandits for 5 years. Detecting a fault in the machine isn't too hard, I suppose, though I've never had to do it. If the machine is a participation game, then some of the winnings of each game are paid out to the manufacturer because just making and selling machines isn't profitable enough to stay in business. The catch is the manufacturer pays out the jackpots, not the casino.
What?
So the casino doesn't give a shit if you hit 10 jackpots in a row, and neither do the commissioners. For them, they're just doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
When the jackpot is hit, the whole bank of machines are roped off and kept under guard. A poor son of a bitch engineer or two are dragged out of bed in the middle of the night or poured out of their children's birthday party or whatever, and they're stuffed into a plane with all sorts of gear and shit, and they will systematically diagnose, test, and dismantle the machine down to the rivets to make sure it wasn't tampered with or flawed. It's the company's responsibility to prove the win was false if they want to save their cash. So the company that makes the machine is actively looking to prove that it was broken so they don't have to pay any money to the winner.
That sounds so dumb.
But even the manufacturer plans for payouts. It's all part of their budget. My employer designed the math behind their games so that one of the participation games in the entire market, like a wide area progressive, would hit every 6 months. We had one wide area progressive hit twice in 1 month just after release once, and the execs puckered up so tight they shit diamonds to cover the bills that day. So someone then asked a follow-up question. What does the company do if they see a machine malfunctioned and people lost, say, for 5 hours? Are they under any obligation to do anything, or do they just laugh and pocket the winnings? And the guy replied, we laugh all the way to the bank and then release a patch. I tell everyone, don't play them. Don't play them. They are fair. The machines don't cheat, but they are truly random. No voodoo hand-waving or combos of button presses or fucking with your player tracking card is going to do anything to influence the game. Even in the event of a total power loss, the game will later reboot to exactly the same state it was in before the power loss. But they have amongst the worst odds in the casino, more than doubly so if you're at Caesars. The first thing that happens when you hit spin is it saves the one randomly generated number that determines the total outcome of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you win or lose, how much you're going to get in the bonuses, everything is already determined. You know those pick'em bonus rounds where you touch to reveal what's under a number of items? It doesn't matter what you touch. Your winnings have already been decided by law. But it showed me what was underneath all the other options. Listen to me very carefully. Whatever you pick, we put your winnings under that option, and the other values you didn't pick are bullshit. We put those there for psychological reasons. It entices players. It triggers your addiction centers. We don't officially talk about gambling addiction, but in the lunchroom, we totally talk about how to hook players. I've seen our games in action, and I've watched grandmothers drain their wallets of hundreds of dollars. I don't know how many 20s that woman attached to an oxygen tank had in her wallet when she started, but I know she didn't have any left, and I counted hundreds of dollars. My wife was a data analyst for the same company, and she would go to the field to interview players, and our, quote, best players were those who were playing entire banks of machines at a time, playing the row, hitting spin. She's talking to this one guy, and he's not even looking at the fucking game. He's talking to my wife, looking at her, and tapping spin as fast as he can without paying attention. He was so mentally fucked, and our machines did that to him. We did that to him. The executives would park their DB9s practically sideways in the building handicapped parking lots. They were self-important cocks like you wouldn't believe because they had money. I'd call the police and report the plates while walking in the building. The salesmen would do coke with the clients, the casino execs, and they were fucking stupid and really had no idea how to use a computer to check their email and couldn't do basic math. They'd be told they can't sell a unit for less than X dollars, and they'd undercut us anyway. We'd take a loss on half the orders because they're selling relationships. The company was doing it great. They threw extravagant parties that would go all night. If you've seen The Great Gatsby, they used it sort of a manual of how to live in excess and debauchery. The company was doing poor, and they fired a bunch of people to look like they were doing great, and then they'd throw a party. I just remember the tents and the hundreds of bottles of wine, troughs of beers. I bet we filled 2 dumpsters with just wine bottles alone per party. I never liked slot machines. In fact, I fucking hated them before I even took the job. I was notorious around the office, and almost a decade later, they still talk about me. I was so cynical. We have a suggestion box for themes. Players would walk up in I suggested we build a large, multi-story black building, completely featureless, no windows, painted concrete. Players would walk in the middle of one side at waist level as a bill validator. They put their money. You hear a bit of rumbling, like the sound of large gear behind a fleet of concrete, and that's it. Eventually, they just walked away confused and feeling unfulfilled. But what's the difference between that and one of our machines?
Wow.
So there's a couple of things that blew my mind. One, you push one button, you're either a winner or you're a loser.
Yeah.
And that's it. Everything else is just literally to keep you gambling, which seems illegal. But
a little misleading.
For some reason, it feels more illegal than the fact that, like, okay, I have a chance if I push this button too. Like, it feels like you put in $1, you have 5 chances, you know, playing those machines. But really, you put it in, you push one button, you're either a winner or a loser already.
Yeah.
So that's what he's saying at the end. He's like, you could literally just enter $1, press a button, and you either win or you lose. And that's how you play. Because that's the same thing between that and a slot machine.
Right.
And then the second thing that blew my mind is that the casinos don't pay the jackpots.
Yeah.
They just buy the machines.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's crazy to me.
That doesn't make any sense.
Like, so that's why casinos just make so much money.
Yeah.
Because they literally buy the hardware and then that's it.
Take the cash that goes into them.
Yeah.
That's, I don't like casinos. Don't like them.
That's insane to me. Like, I mean, I guess they have the card games and stuff, but.
Yeah, nope.
I've never been to a casino.
It's better in Vegas. Because you get free drinks.
Yeah. I guess, I mean, I feel like I will never win anything in a casino.
I won $100. It's the most I won at one time.
I mean, that's pretty good.
My cousin won $1,000 off of a penny slot. He bet 1 penny and won $1,000, and then lost all of that over the next 3 days that we were there.
So when he got $1,000, was he able to go redeem it immediately?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it wasn't a jackpot, and it was definitely a penny slot. So I mean, if it was they had slot machines where you could bet $100 at a time to possibly win $50,000 on the thing. I watched my uncle put in $300 for 3 chances at a slot machine. Didn't win shit.
Yeah, that's exactly what this guy's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
$300, all $100 bills. And I was like, "You're a madman." It was 4 a.m. He was drunk, but
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what the casino wants.
They do.
Yeah.
That's what they want. Also, no windows anywhere in any casino. It's
because they don't want you to know how late it is. Yeah, man.
Yep.
And they're literally built as mazes to disorient you so you can't even leave.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had that problem.
We should start a casino, man.
But it was...
how hard is it to start a casino? Do we have to be,
probably
do we have to be Indians?
But we need the capital to start it.
Are you sure we don't need to be Indians?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, obviously not in Vegas.
If we're
but
on
what
an
about
Indian
here?
reservation because they get special treatment for
but
casinos.
Isn't the one in Mulvane? Isn't that an Indian casino?
I'm pretty sure because it's on an Indian reservation. That's the only reason why it's legal in Kansas. Because Kansas gambling's
so we
not
have
legal.
to be Indians to build one in Kansas.
On an Indian reservation. And yes, you'd have to be an Indian to live on an Indian reservation.
Right. And you can't build it anywhere but an Indian reservation.
Right. Because they have different laws and shit.
But literally, people, if we had a casino, people would just come in and give us $300 because they were drunk and then leave.
Yes. Because they have the chance of winning more than that.
And so really the only reason that rich people don't all own casinos is because those people go immediately to hell, right?
Work with someone that goes every weekend. Almost every other weekend down to Kansas Star. And I'm like, why? That's a dumb idea. You're not going to win shit.
They ever win anything?
Her dad does, she says, but that's it.
But they can't have won more than they've put in.
Right. They put in
It's
way
that
more,
one
I'm
victory
sure.
that makes them go back, even though they only won $100 and they spent $1,000.
Yes. I'm pretty darn sure because, well, I would assume the Kansas Star pays out more than the Bellagio does.
Probably, right?
But
I would think so.
Yes, either way, it's a
waste
waste of money.
You probably get more at the Bellagio, but you win more often.
Yes.
At the Kansas Star.
Yep.
Will be my
Also,
guess.
they don't comp your drinks. You have to pay for drinks
at Kansas Star.
Vegas
they don't
is the
have
only
steak
place that
buffet with free whiskey like they do.
I'm sure not all casinos in Vegas do it, but
the big ones. Do.
Yes, the big ones definitely.
Like if you go off strip, it probably ain't that way. But if you go to Bellagio, it's,
Yep, I
That's
went
crazy,
to. I
man.
gambled at Bellagio. I didn't go to Caesars because I heard it was shitty.
Yeah, well, this guy apparently hates Caesars.
And
yeah.
I went to Planet Hollywood, and then the Flamingo, like a couple of older ones on the Strip because I was with some old people, and then we did go to the old Vegas Strip, which is a little bit north of the Strip that is
like
there
where
now.
the Strip used
Right.
to be.
It's the one where have you seen that like zip line thing that they have?
Yeah.
That's the old Strip.
Okay.
But they got gambling places there too. Their odds are a little better than your main Strip, but
I mean, they're still terrible.
yes, they're still gambling.
You're gonna lose money.
And most of the time you lose money. That's why they're businesses, and they're still in business.
Right.
It's
Yeah, because
because
if you
they
won
make
more than you
money.
lost, they wouldn't.
They would not make money. Yeah.
Is that how that works, man? Are you sure?
Yep, gambling's fucked up.
It's
good to do for a week when you can drink and not give a fuck. And
Yeah,
when you have
if you
money
just
that
have
you're
money,
ready
right.
to go. Right. Yeah, it's great.
Right,
But yeah.
I mean, I guess like for the person you work with, like if you budget $100 a month for gambling,
right,
and you
Same
just know
people
that you
do that
spend
with
$100,
lottery tickets.
but then you get $500 one month, you got $500 free dollars.
Yep.
I guess. I mean, that's really no different than
Easy
like
money if
me
you can
budgeting
get it.
like $100 for video games a month or something. You know, like
Easy money. If
it
you
doesn't
can get it.
really give me anything
But
in
there's
return.
No,
It's just
yeah,
fun.
There's no return that you can get.
North Korea is
good.
sitting on $7 trillion worth of minerals, and they're too broke and under technologicalized in order to reach those minerals. $7 trillion.
Wow.
Apparently, scratching the surface, the secluded nation reveals a vast deposits, I can't read today, of more than 200 minerals, including magnesite, zinc, copper, limestone, molybdenum, iron, and gold, worth more than $7 trillion. Apparently, a lack of mining equipment and machinery has made it almost impossible for North Korea to extract some of the rare materials, and sanctions have made it illegal for private enterprises to establish drilling sites in the country.
Dude, You have to find some explanation to me for why China allows North Korea to exist.
I think there's I think number one is they don't want a neighbor to be angry at them.
Hey, take over that fucking neighbor.
Well,
you're China.
I believe what's happening is South Korea.
Because
I was reading the comments on Reddit, so take it with an Alex Jones-sized grain of salt.
Uh-huh.
Okay. But apparently South Korea has started setting aside $7 billion to take over North Korea because Kim Jong Un will eventually be out of power due to a government coup or whatever, and then South Korea is just going to unify Korea, and they'll just take it over.
Well, I mean, from what I've been hearing, China's been building like man-made islands in the China Sea, like closer to like the Philippines and things down south of Japan and shit like that. And they aren't supposed to be doing that because that's international waters. It's not China's sea.
Well,
it's international water.
They make it China there,
exactly. They're just building military like islands for ports, airstrips, all that shit, man.
What are you gonna do about it? It's China.
What are they doing it for? What are they gonna do? They're gonna take over the U.S.? They're gonna take over North Korea? Do it all fucking ready. You got 1 billion fucking people.
Yeah, they
could literally just throw men at the problem.
They could literally put them in a Michael Bay trebuchet and throw
it
them
would
across
just
the ocean.
it's North Korea. Like they may
don't
have
care.
nuclear missiles or whatever. You could shut down anything they got because you're China and you're their fucking partner. And
anything that
I may not know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But come on.
No, I think
They
it's
have
pretty
to have
much
a plan.
common sense to assume anything America has, China also has.
Right. It's like a Tony Stark mentality. If you have the Hulk, the Thor, everything, you're going to want ways to neutralize those people.
China's the only country on the planet, really, that can compete with the U.S.
Right.
And they do every day. Because economy-wise, Japan can probably compete. India might be able to compete. England might be able to compete. But technology, population-wise, China's the only one.
Right.
Because they have the economy. They have
the
manpower. They have the intelligence. And they're way more organized than us.
Right.
Way more organized because they're a communist country and they can do whatever they want whenever they want.
Russia's got a military, and that's the only thing they spend their GDP on, I feel like.
Right, but even there, I mean, sure, they're scary because they got a big military, but their country, 60% of it's wasteland, and most of the people there are
and then
poor.
If they got sanctioned by the entire UN,
it's over for them. Yeah, so they talk a big talk, and that's because they got a big stick. But
they know where they're at, and they know that they can't just bomb everybody they want to.
China could bomb anyone they want, and there's nothing we could do about it. Because they're China.
Getting that way.
I mean, it's America and it's China. I think are the only two countries that literally could do whatever they wanted, and no one could stop them except for each other.
I think the only reason why they keep it going is because they want the U.S. to feel a little bit, off.
Yeah.
They want us
to
feel
they can't make the U.S. mad either because we do so much business with China.
Well, we're not. They're not doing it.
No.
North Korea's doing it.
Yeah.
But why is North Korea doing it? It's because fucking China's allowing their ass to be a
China
fucking thing.
literally thinks it's a joke.
You
like,
want $7 trillion, China? Go get fucking June out of
that's
there.
That's why I brought it up. Because
bring up
I
some
feel like
fucking mineral coal.
Now that we know
shit.
that there's $7 trillion worth of minerals under North Korea, like
the
how much longer?
The population of China is getting smaller and smaller, or the area of land that the population is going to have is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. You give it 20 years. 20 years.
Right.
Their entire country is going to be filled. Fucking need some more land, man, and you're giving half a country to a goddamn dickhead who's not doing anything with it.
Did you know that Shanghai has gotten so big that it's developing its own version of Chinese?
No.
There's literally a language now called Shanghaiese because it's getting so big that it's literally people there are developing their own dialects of Mandarin.
That's ridiculous. That's insane.
I mean, it's over 1 billion people living in that area. I mean, that's 3 times the amount of people in the United States living in a city.
Yeah. How many people?
Well, there's like 1 billion people in the Beijing, Shanghai area.
Right.
Like in that area, there's 1 billion people.
That's insane. That's just crazy. Why is that like such a global hotspot, man?
Dude.
Trade.
Dude, I can't tell you.
Trade.
Because they have like limits on people and stuff over there. Shanghai. Let's look up the population of Shanghai. I bet it's well, I already looked. So 24.15 million in Shanghai proper.
Wow.
It's a 17-hour, 14-minute flight if you want to go. It's only $1,284. Yeah. If you want to go.
Don't want to go to China.
You sure, man?
Yeah.
You sure, man? Why is it why in God's name
Did you go to the list of most skyscrapers?
Take me to the list of cities with the most skyscrapers.
Yeah, that's interesting.
How do I get to the Wikipedia page?
Right there, man.
Why is it not over here, man?
Google sucks. God. Google's terrible.
Metro is 34 million people in the metro of Shanghai.
That's stupid.
And I think Beijing's right here.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where Beijing is. So 34 million people in Shanghai alone. And then what about Beijing? Yeah, man. China's just like crazy to me. Okay, it's 27th in population. In China, its density is 4th. Its metro is 24 million. Are you kidding me? Yeah, China has 1.3 million people living in it.
That's billion.
Or sorry, billion. Yeah, billion people living in the entire place. In 1912, they had 411 million. So that's why they've just always been there. And these people are probably still alive because the Chinese don't die, ever. They live forever, man.
Oh, man. I don't... It's just crazy. That does... It blows my brain. That entire... God, stop yawning!
You're the one yawning, man.
I know!
You yawning
I'm
yourself?
telling myself.
Oh, good
I'd like to
Lord.
go one day.
To China? I would too, dude.
Just to see what it's like, man. It would just be crazy.
Most...
Then again, I wouldn't ever want to go to India.
No, people poop in the street there,
India,
dude.
Man? Dude, they just climb on top of trains and ride them because they don't have enough room in the train. There's like so many like big, huge mega projects there that are getting started, and it's just like everybody's industrializing, man. Getting bigger and bigger.
They just poop in the street over there at India, though, man.
Dude.
I can't deal with that. Just pooping in the street.
No.
Here we go. Metropolitan area. Okay, number 1 metropolitan area is Tokyo. 37 million people live in Tokyo.
Wow.
Shanghai is number 2, 34 million. Then Jakarta, Indonesia has 31 million. That's an island.
Yeah, but that whole the South Asian countries are getting really just like foreign funded.
What are they
like
doing
nuts.
over there?
I'm telling you, it's playgrounds. Dubai, this shit, the Saudi Arabia, Arab Emirates or whatever the fuck, same fucking thing. They're playgrounds for oil barons with billions of dollars to be like, I've always wanted a city.
Yeah.
Let's just make a city.
Yeah.
And then we'll put all the newest technological advanced, huge transit systems, ready to go infrastructure, and then just throw billions at this project. And then they make it like this. The one in Saudi Arabia is like on the coastline. So give it 10 years with global warming, that thing's going to be underwater.
Yeah. No, global warming doesn't exist, though.
It's playgrounds, man. Rich people just building what the fuck they want. That's all it is. Like, let's make it a
Japan,
tourist attraction.
China, Indonesia, South Korea, China. That's the top 6. They're all in like this tiny little area of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
38 million, 34 million, 32 million, 25 million, 25 million, 25 million. Beijing, Guangzhou, and Seoul are all 25 million. That's 75 million people in like a 2-hour plane ride from each other. That's insane to me, dude.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And then New York is the only United States city on there till number 25. New York's number 8.
That's insane.
And then L.A. is number 25. And then you have to go all the way down to 44 to get Chicago. Then you have to go all the way to 59 to get Dallas. Then you have to go.
Oh,
then we start showing up more. Houston is number 62. Washington, D.C. 66. Philadelphia 67. Miami 69. Atlanta 671. Boston, San Francisco.
Wichita's
Phoenix.
not on there?
No, man. I'm sorry. Wichita's not
We're
on
the
there.
50th largest city in the United States, though.
51st, I thought.
I thought it was 50th.
Yeah, we 50th now?
Bitch.
Good. Some city died.
Bitch.
Look how many Chinas are on there, though, man.
That's insane.
1, 2, 3, 4.
By looking at
5,
that
6,
list,
7,
you would
8,
think somebody's
9, 10, 11,
number 1.
12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There's 20 China cities on this list of 100. Or 92.
Do you feel like we hit a wall as an American society of trying?
Like,
just
period.
at all? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's still groups and factions of us out there
like
that are
Elon
still
Musk
trying
is still
and
doing
stuff.
things, but yeah,
the rest are like, we're just going to collect
Did
money
you see
and kind of
Trump's
live
tweet
it out.
today?
Nuh-uh.
Please look it up.
What is it?
I just want you to
Why?
look. I want you to look at it live.
The
on the air.
Mika thing was just fucking stupid. Yeah. He's just harassing Rosie O'Donnell again, man.
I need you to look at this.
God, I'm getting
at real Donald Trump.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because he only tweets the shit stuff from that account, not the POTUS account.
I didn't even know he tweets from that account.
He's got a POTUS and
I know
tweets.
he has one, but does he tweet from it?
It tweets.
Yeah. Just look at his most. Oh, right there. This one right here. This was at 8 o'clock this morning.
This fraud CNN thing. This is our president.
Yep. That is a video of CNN superimposed on a wrestler's face. Yep.
That's Donald Trump beating up a wrestler with CNN on his face. You can't really see it, but FCNN.
FNN, because it's the fraud news network.
That is an actual tweet. That is number 2 tweet on our president's Twitter account.
Yep.
That's
our
great.
president tweeted that. So, yeah, I do think that we've stopped trying. I mean, the world is going to be underwater. Like, Miami's already underwater. Like, they have to pump water out every day.
Mm-hmm.
Spend billions and billions of dollars to pump water off Miami.
Yeah.
And that's not going to get better. Like, at what point do, like,
you just say,
my parents
let's move.
start admitting that it's happening?
Right. I don't know.
Like, I was looking
just
at a map.
because the weather is, not boiling hot or freezing
Right,
cold.
they think it's about temperature.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're
just
dumb.
No, it's a generalized
like,
overall
I literally
average
looked at this
climate.
map today that some news producer who works for Cake tweeted out.
Yeah.
Just retweeted from the National Weather. It's like tornadoes in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all in Missouri and Tennessee. Like, it's all shifted to the right in our country. It's all gone west. And it's just like, Tornado Alley moving to the west? How interesting. And I'm just like...
I've heard that.
That's climate change.
Yeah, I heard that a couple years back. They were saying that the Tornado Alley eventually will move, and it's because of,
It's climate change.
Mm-hmm. That's just,
Like,
it
how
changes.
do people not look at things and go, that's cool.
Now,
It's very
no,
interesting.
I mean,
wonder why that's happening.
there's a lot of climate change deniers.
Yes.
There's a lot of, now, I don't think Donald Trump is that. I think
he
Donald
is.
Trump is a man-made climate change denier.
Well, he tweets that China made up
Yes.
global warming.
And he also has tweeted that it's a nice day out and that it's snowing in the winter, and it's like global warming. What's that?
Yeah.
It's like, it does snow in the winter, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It's supposed to do that. How many times has it snowed this winter? Is it less than last year?
It's literally
That's
like,
called a trend, motherfucker.
It's like going outside and saying, I wasn't murdered today, so murder must not happen.
Right.
Yes.
It's, oh, God.
Yes.
So, I don't know. I'm sure. I want to expect the man to see that there's patterns that you can read as a human with logic.
Yeah.
But I don't. You might be right that he just completely does not.
Well,
believe
and
in
like,
the entire thing.
he tweeted, I think it was this week, that he tweeted the stuff about Amazon, not paying taxes and all that, and how, the Washington Post and all that.
Yeah.
And, like, I read a guy who tweeted, and it was like, Donald Trump, more people are employed by Amazon than the entire coal industry. And all he cares about is, like, people who work at coal factories.
Oh, right.
It's like, you're just bad-mouthing an American company that literally employs more Americans than an entire industry, and you're taking a big shit on them.
Why? I thought your whole thing was jobs.
It's because his entire base
are
idiots.
Because he doesn't like Amazon, so his base doesn't like Amazon because they think he's George Soros powered and funded and against or is for the globalist economy that's going to end humanity.
You know, there are more members of Amazon Prime than voted for Donald Trump?
No.
People who pay $100 a year to Amazon, there's more of them.
More than 5 million people, I think.
That voted for Donald Trump.
Was there? Did he only get? How many votes did he get? Popular vote.
Let's look it up.
Because it's a really small amount, isn't it? Like half of the U.S. population voted at all.
Oh, if even that much.
And then half of that, right? Like there was only about like a 10,000 popular vote. No, he won 62 million. Okay. Is that it? No.
I would think.
No, that's just in total. Right?
Yeah, 62 million people voted for Donald Trump.
No, okay.
65 million for Hillary.
And then how many people we have? That's 120 million.
Yes.
We have 300 million people.
More than that, probably.
Yeah, more than that.
Probably like
that
close
is
to
sad.
350. Yeah. Yeah.
They kind of should make that easier, you know, to where your entire population can vote.
Yeah, I mean, like put it online. You know, like every other country.
Yeah, just
like, let me
a
think
thought.
of a country that does. Oh yeah, China.
Or
a communist country allows online elections because it's 2017.
Dude, it could get hacked, man. It could get hacked.
All he does is talk about how our voting machines were hacked,
which they weren't.
Or I don't know.
They weren't. The voting machines themselves weren't hacked. The emails of the voter counter people were hacked.
Oh, is that what it was?
I think so.
I don't know how that works.
They're just Trojan horsing everybody. They're like, Russia literally put an Apple logo at the top of their email and was like, your Apple account is deactivated. Please activate here by clicking this link. And dumbass government people were like, my Apple account's down? Let me give them all my information and see if I can fix
remember,
this.
like, wasn't there, I don't remember who it was in the government, they were tweeting their Wi-Fi password just over and over again. They kept tweeting passwords.
Yeah. I don't remember who that was, but
how?
It was stupid.
How does that happen? I saw a link on Reddit the other day of some guy who posted in like a fraud site that's like, watch out for this website. And it was literally like an Apple website. And it said, you must verify your information. Please enter your email address and password. And it was just a submit form. So like you would just hit submit and it would just put it in a spreadsheet for this hacker and he'd have your email address and your password.
Some people. I'm warning everybody I meet.
There's nothing to prevent you from doing that. Because I could make a site that has a secure connection,
right,
that has a submit form on it to collect people's information. No one would ever know.
Nope.
Because only people like me would know how to even look up who's doing it. My grandma would give me all of her passwords.
Right.
I could send her an email from Bank of America asking for her bank account passwords, her checking number, her routing number. She'd give them all to me. Because she'd think it was official. She wouldn't call the bank.
I warn everybody I meet. I'm like, always check the email address because if Apple's emailing you about something, it's going to come from @apple.com. That's
well, it's
about
not
it.
even the email address because now you can spoof that.
Right.
Like I could send an email from Steve Jobs @apple.com if
Really?
I wanted to. Oh, easily. Easily. I'm going to start doing that to you. I'm going to start sending you emails from your boss. And it's going to trigger you so much.
I'm going to kill you.
Best idea ever.
I'm going to kill you.
Hey, can you meet me in my office at 1:15? And you're going to go
you.
in. He's going to be like, why are you here?
That would be the worst thing ever.
Oh, I can't wait till April 1st. Oh, my God. It's going to be the best day of all time.
Fuck you, man.
Oh, my God.
How do you do that?
The good news is I won't remember.
How do you just jack apple.com and use it as an email address?
Because you can make it's like the same way that all of our emails come from Robot at Camp Steak, but they don't really.
Oh yeah,
it's the same idea. You can make it come from any email address. Like I can go MailChimp. It says it comes from where? Robot at Camp Ship. I can just top it to blah 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 blah.com, and it'll just be there.
Well,
when you go to the website, that you can't fake. And that's what most people do. Is like, but see, Safari, they change it to en.wikipedia.org to make it so you know what your base is. I know I'm on wikipedia.org. Like back in the old days, like you could click this and it would be like www.pirate.org/apple.com/password.asp, and people would be like, oh, look, it says apple.com. So they get confused, and this is part of the security to try to make it so it's like you're not at apple.com, you're at pirate.com, hacker.com.
I gotcha.
That's the only way you can tell. Generally, if an email asks you to re-enter your password, that's not even generally.
It's all to say, yeah.
You never do it.
Right.
Ever.
Right. Yep.
Because the only time a company's going to email you is if you change your password, and if you get one of those and you didn't, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Or if someone logged into your account, and if you didn't, you fucked. It's so easy to get hacked. And so it's crazy to me that anyone would think that anything is safe. So why not make it so Americans can vote? That's the whole point. That's why we got on this.
It's like the reasons why they take slot machines that give jackpots in and fucking go through the ringer to make sure not one fucking thing was misaligned.
It's all the lizard
to give
people.
This person a jackpot.
It's all the lizard people, man. Running the country. Can we talk about one more thing while we're talking about rage? You know Allison Williams, the girl from Girls?
Mm-mm.
So she's Brian Williams' daughter. Okay? You know, the news guy from NBC News?
No. I don't know any of these people.
Okay. I will Google. Here's Allison Williams.
Thank you.
Allison Williams. Ignore that it said nude there. You can tell what I've been looking at. Load. That hooker. All right? You know her? From Girls. She's in Girls. She's like one of the main characters in Girls.
I never watched that show.
Why? Kylo Ren's in it.
That's one reason why I don't watch that show.
There's Brian Williams.
Okay.
He used to host NBC News. Allison Williams is his daughter.
Okay.
All right? That's really all you need to know.
Gotcha.
For my rage rant.
I'm here.
She said in this new interview, all right, that she struggles to identify with millennials. Okay?
Okay.
She's, I think she's your age. No, she might be closer to mine. I think she's like 28 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I probably could just hit backwards and it would tell me how old she is. She's 29. Okay? So she's in our generation.
Yep.
She is us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Apparently, she said, I experienced my 20s vicariously through Marnie, who she played in Girls, when I started playing her at 22. Meanwhile, I was living a life of a much older person. No social life, a dog, a husband, the same apartment, same job for 6 years. Pretty rare for my generation. She says, even when I was a child, my best friend was a 92-year-old woman. I am traditional, a big note writer, and I like using the phone. There are a lot of things that are about me that aren't like the rest of my friends, but I try to learn as much about millennials as I can so I can stay afloat among them.
It's like they're, other beings.
Yeah.
They're
like,
fucking humans that are just in a world of fucking constant information that you need to digest.
Also, like, maybe she doesn't experience things as millennials because her father is Brian Williams. She got a job on an HBO series at 22.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't have any problems in her life.
I mean, some millennials don't either, but a lot of them do.
But a lot of millennials aren't being interviewed about how they relate to other people.
Yeah.
Like, she can't relate. She says, Williams, whose 2015 wedding was officiated by Tom Hanks, is no ordinary 20-something. The Connecticut-born actress is the daughter of former NBC anchorman Brian Williams and TV producer Jane Stoddard. As a child, she often accompanied her parents to showbiz parties. Quote, I got to observe actors and the whole world early, so I didn't romanticize any of it. She went to Yale and got her degree, and then she got a Golden Globe Award for her. And she's like, I don't relate to millennials. That's because, bitch, you're rich.
Yeah. You're a rich, privileged person who does not understand anything about anything that normal people have to go through.
To any generation.
Right. Because you're the rich.
Right. She's trying to ascend and become a higher being.
It's just like, yeah, you got problems, but money isn't one of them, and that's probably the main source of grief and struggle and, shit in normal people's lives is
she
getting
lived
money.
With Brian Williams and her producer.
When money isn't an issue for you, you can't really connect with the majority of society.
Okay, let's say you're super intelligent. Could you go to Yale, man? Could you afford to go to Yale?
No.
Yeah.
I would have to get some sort of scholarship if they do those.
I don't know if they do. I feel like Yale probably doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the school for if you are somebody and you want, you made a new person and you need to get them to where you were.
I feel like Yale maybe has one scholarship and they call it like the poor person scholarship. And they find like one person who has like
I'm sure they've got a lot.
I was raised by a single mother who
They're
had 18
all about
children,
political correctness and shit and want to show that they have a minority program, a women's program,
but
a gay program.
Not an 18-year-old white man from Wichita who grew up, in the middle class.
We have all the opportunity.
Yeah, you don't get to go to Yale.
Nope. That is not an opportunity I have as a white man.
So only
just
the super
by
poor.
natural. That's not just one I get. It's also you have to have money, I think, as well as being white.
Yes.
So.
And you don't have that.
No.
And neither do I.
I think a lot of minorities forget that nowadays.
All white men aren't rich.
White men have had a good, I guess, good past compared to some other races, but.
I mean, owning slaves.
How about right now? How about anybody that was born after 1990? How about right now? We good? We good? There's some different levels of shit, but I think we're all kind of just fighting through what the fuck life is.
Yeah, but there's a lot of idiots out there too, and that's a problem. I think Twitter ruined America.
I
think Twitter ruined
Twitter
America.
and social media, man.
Yeah. Well, I think Facebook's okay because honestly, it's ruining the old people.
How?
Because they all share those stupid memes about. They're the ones who are going to share that Trump tweet and say LOL 14 times in all uppercase.
Mm-hmm.
That's what goes on Facebook.
Yeah. What's on Twitter? Hate speech?
Hate.
Yeah.
A lot of hate.
A lot of hate.
A lot of hate, and a lot of people saying don't hate people, love people,
like
but they say it in a hateful way.
4chan too.
Not my Reddit. My Reddit's mostly boobs and cute animals.
Yeah, but there are Reddits out there
of
that
course.
have created the fucking Nazism.
Oh yeah,
that
the
is
Donald
right now,
got
basically.
Donald Trump elected.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
That Reddit did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no doubt. That memes influence culture. Yeah. There's no doubt.
There's no doubt.
And the internet ruined it.
That is true. I don't know.
But then at the same time, before the internet, it's hard to separate them.
Right.
Like before the internet, we hated gays. Women had to be in the kitchen and couldn't get jobs. You know, you go farther back, like prohibition was a thing. There was literal slavery.
Mm-hmm.
But did that get fixed because of the internet?
No.
So then how can we say that the world got worse because of the internet? Because what if the internet wasn't here? Would we still have Nazis rising back up? Would Donald Trump still have been elected?
I don't know.
Because a lot of old people that voted for Donald Trump and the West Virginians, you know, with no teeth who voted for Donald Trump, I don't feel like they have Twitter anyway.
Right.
I feel like they saw him on NBC going, wrong, and they go, and they voted for him on November 8th.
Those people were like, he's not Hillary Clinton? Okay, he's my vote.
Right.
So, right. I think
but
it's
those people
just
also
like,
hate gays and believe that climate change isn't happening.
I think it's a bittersweet kind of thing because it's got some bad shit to it, but it's also got some good shit.
What's good besides memes?
You can communicate an idea if it's a good one across the world and be able to impact millions of people in a matter of moments.
You can't.
But it's possible.
No,
and that's a big thing because that's never been possible before.
Okay, I guess it happens with millions of people, but it isn't enough millions.
Right.
Like, it's not a significant amount of people.
It's not yet.
Do you think it ever will be?
How many users did Facebook have when social media, social network, that movie was made?
I think
it
the
had
movie,
500 million at the time of the end of that.
Okay, well, they just crossed
now
2 billion.
It's 2 billion, and that was 4 years,
which
3
is
years.
a fourth of the Earth.
So,
but that's reaching critical mass of how many internet-connected devices there are.
That's true.
So
but,
at some point they're going to see.
Well, Facebook is also trying to expand the amount of people that have internet.
But they're an American company.
Shit.
So here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me give you an example. I just went through this. So I'm a partner in a company called Atlas 88. They do SEO and stuff. Okay,
mm-hmm.
We own Atlas88.com.
Yes.
Literally, there's a company in China who's making a part called the Atlas 88.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to Google it. It was all in Chinese. All I know is some piece of machinery. All right, they wanted to register Atlas88.com.cn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, .net.cn, all these things .cn, and they literally, the government of China, wrote me an email and said, "You own this domain. Is it at all affiliated with this company?" And I wrote back and said, "No, I have no affiliation with this company." And then they wrote back, and they said, "If you want us to stop pursuing this, let me know." And I said, "I have no problem with you registering the Chinese things." And literally the CEO, this is all like I go to bed and then they email me because it's a time difference. And so I wake up the next morning, I got an email from the CEO of that company. And he wrote me and he's like, "We're going to register this whether or not you think there's a conflict because we don't believe there is." And I didn't even reply to that because I'm like, I'm not going to get tried with some evil Chinese CEO.
Fine anyways.
And so then the government replied back to me and they basically implied like this guy wants to register it even though there's a .com taken. We think that's a bad idea, but he can do it. And he's like, "Are you okay with this? Because we have now moving forward, we're going to register." And they sent me like 15 domains with basically every variant of Atlas88.com that isn't .com. So it's all the .nets, all of them with .cn at the end. And he goes, "Are you sure you're okay with this? Because you can say stop because you own .com and we will cease." And I said, "I plan on doing no business in China. Have fun with it." And then I never heard from him again. I'm assuming if I go to the website, I'll probably see whatever that part is. Okay. The point of this. The reason I tell you this story is because in China, Like, you just launched a new website. You went to your host. You typed in the domain. You paid $15. You got yourself a website. In China, they have to contact the government to get a .com.
A domain name.
Yeah. That government then does its due process to see who else owns competing names. Not even the one you want. Just who has the same name with a different TLD on the end of it. And then they reach out to that person and confirm that it's okay that they have a competing, quote, competing domain with what you have. Double and triple check. And then they allow that person to say yay or nay if that multi-million-dollar Chinese company can get... I live in an apartment in Wichita, and I could stop a Chinese company from getting a domain because I was there first.
You could make them change their name.
Yes.
That's insane.
And then I tell the government, and they said, okay. That's what the Chinese government has to go through. And the whole point of all that is that's what Mark Zuckerberg has to fight against to get people on the internet.
Yeah.
There's no way! There's no way!
That's a good point.
Because governments don't get less regulated, they get more regulated.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't that insane? Like, I had no idea. Like, could you imagine starting your new company and you have to call the White House Office of Domain Registries to get your new domain? You would think twice before you even thought of starting a new company.
Yeah.
Remember when we registered horse2016.com for the lulz?
That's scary.
Could you imagine emailing Donald Trump's White House office about Horse 2016?
No. Horse 2020? He's like, absolutely not. No competition. I rule it. Outrule it.
He'd probably tweet about it.
Register it and point it to me. Horse 2020, Donald Trump.
Can we please register Horse 2020?
And just forward it to DonaldJTrump.com.
No. We just take a PNG, like a screenshot of Donald Trump's homepage and just put a horse photo on every time his photo appears and just put it back up.
That would be great.
Donald J. Horse. Horse J. Trump.
We could do it because apparently we live in America and we don't need the government's permission to register a domain name.
Man. I just couldn't believe that.
That's insane.
So you think about, like, and then China obviously censors Google results and all of that stuff. Like,
I'm sure we censor Google Maps.
Well, censor, kinda. I mean, we change it to fit our worldview. Like, they don't allow certain sites to appear.
Right. I guess that's true. They are definitely more strict. 1,000%.
Yeah. And so, like...
And scary, because that could be what Trump is trying to do.
So, that's part of why Twitter is powerful, but also part of why it'll never really impact. Because, like, Twitter gets out the news that's happening in China, but probably 70% of people in China never know that thing happened. We in America know it happened. China doesn't know it happened.
Be interesting.
Like, there's
but
not
then you
very
can't
many...
control that, can you?
No.
You can't control what...
Well, China can.
What a Chinese...
Of course they can. Because they own everything.
They can control who you follow on Twitter.
Yeah, because they control... Because Twitter wants to be in China because there's
so they just
billion and a
take
half
off
people.
The U.S. user base, so you can't search for them.
China says you're not allowed to do these like tweets with these words, or like they do that. Yeah, man.
That's screwed up.
Lots of countries do that.
That's screwed up.
It's just how it works. And Twitter, because they want to make money, they play into it.
So.
Like, I remember Google was like, don't be evil, and then they got in a lot of hot shit because they censored their results in China. But if they wanted to be in China, they have to do it.
Yep.
And they want to be in China.
That's crazy.
It's nuts, dude. I don't know how we got on that topic.
I don't know how that could affect us. It definitely could.
Well, I think we were talking about how, like, the internet influences the world, but it really doesn't.
Yeah, not yet.
Because there's a lot of... I mean, there's only, like, a few countries out there where it even matters.
Well, I mean, it still does because, yeah, it doesn't have the reach of everyone on Earth, but as soon as it becomes a major thing on the internet, you know that's getting picked up by radio, that's getting picked up by TV, podcasts, YouTube.
Yeah, but that's why Washington's trying to crush net neutrality.
Right, because they don't want that to happen. They don't want shit spreading like that. They want to be able to control information if it gets out.
Right.
And that's sketchy as fuck.
Yeah.
That's China. You want to make China?
That's
We're not China here. I think Trump's fucking campaign was the exact opposite of that. Where America first, not China. China.
Right. So here's conspiracy theories for you.
Okay.
When's the last time you heard something about ISIS?
Good question. ISIS, I haven't heard shit about. The last thing I heard about the Middle East was Assad was apparently planning another chemical attack on his civilians.
Right.
And, like, why we would know that.
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
Here's my point. Donald Trump's whole campaign was about getting rid of ISIS.
Mm-hmm.
So we obviously haven't done anything to get rid of ISIS.
No.
That hasn't happened. Trump's too busy posting memed wrestling gifs about CNN.
That, and we blew up an airfield in Syria for a reason that was
Don't really know.
Strictly just to show
Yeah,
dick size,
that we could.
I'm pretty sure.
Yep, that we could. So Trump hasn't done anything, but ISIS we don't hear anything about.
Right.
Is that censorship?
No.
You don't think that...
I think that...
I mean, how come no one stands up and asks, what about ISIS in the daily press briefings?
Because what are you going to do? Do they know where they are?
Well, I think part of the problem is that the presidency is such a shit show.
He bombed them.
But the presidency is such a shit show, everyone just stands up and asks questions about Trump's shit show.
Yeah, right. It's so distracting and obviously not showing anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is the most... It's honestly, I think it's calculated by Trump. Like, every day he posts something stupid on Twitter like that, something is happening behind the scenes that we're not supposed to know about.
Yep. Yes.
That one blogger writes about, but no one picks it up because, oh my God, did you see his wrestling meme?
Uh-huh. Yeah. No, I completely agree with that.
Because all they asked Obama about was ISIS this, ISIS that.
I mean, is the media then in cahoots with him about it?
I think the media cares more about the ratings than the news. I think that's what it is.
Terrible.
I mean, that's what it is, though, because they're going to talk for 3 hours about that tweet.
Mm-hmm. And go over it and analyze it and have panels read it and reread it.
They used After Effects versions 5.0 to make this tweet. Yeah.
Right.
But then nothing else is going to come of it, right?
Yeah.
Because he's distracting us from something else.
They'll drop
like
it in
the
a
giant
couple of days.
healthcare bill that's going through.
Till he gets another fucking thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean...
That's what's crazy to me is that it's just all smoke and mirrors.
It really is.
And it's all perpetrated by television and the internet. Because
everyone was like, don't let this be normal, like fight this.
Right.
And I mean, this is them fighting it?
I don't know. Because Donald Trump's relentless because it's so easy for him.
It's just like, if you point out the things that he's doing that's generally going to affect his base and you focus on that instead of his stupid tweets that literally do nothing other than distract and
that's my exact point. Is that I feel like the Washington Post and the New York Times, the LA Times, all these newspapers, they still focus on the stuff that matters. They're not going to print a meme. But CNN, Fox News, all those people, they're going to put the meme up on TV. That's all they're going to talk about.
Right.
That's all Twitter's going to talk about. Problem is no one reads newspapers.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I mean, a lot... Exactly. All the news that you get on news channels is people reading news articles written by journalists somewhere.
Right.
And that's basically it.
Right.
So it's like...
So all the real news isn't really happening.
They see the real news and then they want to be like, let's point these points out and these points out and then
but then
give
they
it this
spend 12
sort of
hours
tone.
about the meme.
Right.
Yeah. And that's why no one is getting educated about what's happening.
I don't know, man. It's a lot of I'm so with you. I haven't heard anything in the news at all other than Donald Trump shit.
Yeah.
And
don't
beforehand,
you feel
like John Oliver?
Right.
John Oliver, the man talked about so much diverse, different problems that were going on in our infrastructure, in our community, all that shit. And then as soon as Trump's elected, every single week we're talking about this new election. Maybe for half the show, but we're still fucking talking about it.
And it's hard not to because it's easy.
Right.
And it gets you views.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what pays your bills.
It's like how many people... Trump is a gold rush. There's a gold rush of content creators to be like, it's an easy target that will get me money quick to attack Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And so it's like, let's not focus on real issues. Let's not focus on the fact that he may be mentally unstable or the fact that maybe he's doing shit.
Well, and until everyone stops doing that, everything that matters is going to get buried.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if one person keeps doing that, that's what everyone's going to watch.
Someone needs to make a news station that doesn't talk about Donald Trump.
Because it's not news, it's entertainment.
Right.
It's all entertainment.
Yeah. People don't want to know things. They want to be entertained about things.
Yes. That's it.
If you got a story about math, I don't want to hear that. But if you got a story about you humping a hooker, I want to know that
Exactly.
stuff.
Yeah. Totally. Although I would read a story about the math behind humping a hooker.
That's true.
That
angles.
Yeah. Isosceles triangles.
Pumps. Number of pumps.
Pumps.
You count your pumps.
But yeah, man. I mean, it's it really worked. Like, I feel like our grandparents' generation was way more informed and educated.
Yeah.
About America.
Well, that's because people were actually doing that.
Right. Because there was no internet to distract. It's 4 o'clock. Because the internet was not there to distract everybody.
And now it's just endless stream of distraction. No matter what in a given day, you can find some stupid-ass news story that's either going to fulfill your vision of people or something else that confirms your beliefs.
Yeah. Constantly.
Right.
Yep.
And it's impossible, I think, nowadays to know what is right because each side has an issue and a point on something. Like, clearly murder, bad. But, you know, it's just
but one
purge!
One could say that was determined hundreds of years ago.
Right.
Like...
But, I mean, you don't want to get murdered, do you?
It depends on the day.
No, you don't want to die. So that's kind of the point of where no murder comes from, is people don't want to die. But other stuff like, if it's Republican or Democrat, which one would be better for the country in the long haul?
Nuclear war is a legit thing that could happen.
Oh yeah,
and we all could die, and no one seems to care because it's not. It's like it's exactly. I would just bring it full circle. It's exactly like climate change. There are literally hundreds of thousands of people whose lives are going to be affected in a negative way by climate change. And until the water is in their living room, they don't care.
Yep.
Until that nuke is literally, you can look outside your house and go, well, I had a good run. No one's going to care.
Yep. No one's going to think it's possible.
And that's kind of terrifying. Because the man who tweeted that could launch a nuke today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he's been very adamant about having other countries have nukes.
Yeah.
It's like, Japan, sure. We don't want to guard you, so you get your own shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no. Because then you get Kim Jong Uns that are going to fire that shit at random people that don't deserve to be blown the fuck up.
They don't hate just America. They pretty much hate everybody that isn't North Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of, are you trying to destroy society or are you trying to help it?
That's what's weird about the internet, because the internet really made the world a closer place. Like, you can be friends with people who don't live in America.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, it seems dumb, but, like, I always felt like some countries out there are third world countries. And then I'll look on Twitter and I'll see, like, oh, this guy from Cambodia is tweeting, and his house looks exactly like my house, and I had no idea.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like that's how the West Virginians...
Dude, like Thailand and shit, like, oh, my God, Singapore, like, they're fucking rolling in shit. They're like Dubai's now, man. Yeah. So much oil money, or I don't fucking know.
It's just technology enhances everyone's lives. And there's always poor people, but there's poor people here. There's poor people everywhere, man.
Yeah, we're the homeless capital
Except
of the world.
for India, where they're pooping in the street and riding on top of trains.
They're just like, we literally don't give a shit.
They don't care. Their country is
shit.
I feel honestly, but that's exactly the point. We feel bad for them because we know what's happening. We probably wouldn't know it happened if I didn't see a Vice television show about Indians pooping in the street.
Right.
But that happened because of technology.
Yep.
You know, and it's so that's a good thing about the internet.
Right.
But at the same time, it also be like, look how different they are from us.
Yeah.
Like, now I hate India because I know they poop in the street over there. Where before I was pretty indifferent about India because I didn't know they pooped in the street.
I don't know, man. I'm just about people shouldn't die when they don't want to. That's kind of my thing. And so we should focus
That's a crazy stance.
And on not having that happen. So war, we should probably stop doing that.
Yeah.
Disease, we should probably focus on fixing those, because those are the number one killers of humanity is disease.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I thought
Heart
the number
disease.
one killer of humanity was actually death.
No, it's ISIS, actually. They're killing everybody. They're worse than cancer.
I thought it was Rosie O'Donnell's body odor.
Yep, that is true. There's one person in the White House that believes that.
Yeah, he's our president.
But yeah, I just think that you probably shouldn't die if you don't want to.
Yeah.
and
no matter where you
no
live.
one should make that choice for you.
I think what you're saying is you believe in basic human rights.
Yeah.
And being a good person.
Yeah, there's rights that
there's no place for you in America.
Entitlement is kind of a thing, and we've been treating it like it's a bad thing for the last couple of years. White privilege,
well, it's
women,
because
black.
people,
who the fuck knows?
People want more money for themselves.
They want more. Yeah,
and there's
they're
only
looking
so
at the
much
other
to
side
go
of
around.
the fucking field, and it's greener, and they're like, I want that field.
Yeah.
But you're better off than some dude pooping in the street in fucking India. So how about you calm your shit and kind of appreciate where you're at? It's just a matter of fighting that every single day, and I feel like more and more with this internet shit, people are just not doing that.
Maybe like
They're
John
not caring.
Oliver, instead of trying to make people laugh, maybe he should make people sad. Like, what if he did an entire episode where he's like, this lady has $6,000 in medical debt. This man has to poop in a hole outside his house because his country doesn't provide indoor plumbing.
That's what they tell depressed people is focus on what is worse than your situation, which is a weird thing to do because you're already telling a depressed person to think about something more depressing.
Hey, think about how all of the world is shitty.
Yeah.
And then you'll feel less shitty.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But
well, in reality, if you're depressed, nothing's gonna make you less depressed.
Other than you,
yeah, that's
it's just
because you can't really focus on people who have it better than you either.
Mm-hmm.
You really got to have someone who's exactly as depressed as you, and then you can just sit on a couch all day and talk about your problems.
Or in some chairs with some microphones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can attest that I have never pooped in the street.
Me neither.
Yeah, I had to think about it too. I haven't ever. Pooped? Definitely
I've
not.
Pooped in a park. I've pooped in a park before. I could have been Charlie and been
I've pooped
like
in a backyard.
Sexual harasser, but
I've pooped in a park.
Not admitting that allegedly I did that, but yeah.
I think I believe the statute of limitations on park pooping's got to be short, right?
It's got to be short.
Like the next day. Yeah. Like after it's been cleaned up.
After it's disintegrated.
It's got to be.
It's gone into the earth and made a flower.
I mean, people probably think it's dog poop, right?
Yeah, they definitely do. That's a big dog.
Must be a fucking Doberman left that log out here at the park. What park was it? Was it a big park?
It was the one by my parents. I really had to go.
Well, dude, you gotta poop.
Didn't have a car.
So you
at the
didn't
time.
do it maliciously.
No.
You just had to poop.
I'm gonna shit on this park.
I'm gonna show this park what I did.
You deserve shit rubbed all over your equipment. Shit on every single swing. You sit in it, you get shit on.
You're just walking around with your butt up in the air, just spraying it.
Spray it.
It's like a painting a house,
That's
but
gross.
it's poop. Yeah, that was not a good image in my head.
That's a good way to end the show.
That's perfect. We have a serious discussion, and then we talk about poop, because that's the kind of show we do.
That is what we are.
Yep, that's our show in a nutshell. Okay, well, guys, thanks so much for listening to whatever that shit show was.
Funny.
What? Very funny. Anything I can do, it's puns. So there you go. But guys, we'll be here next Sunday, right?
Yeah, we will.
We got it. You know, we used to be like, hey, maybe not do a show next week. We got something going on.
It's like, nope, I'll be here.
Unless Christmas is on a Sunday this year.
think we got some free time.
Like, we could legitimately take this week off because of the 4th. Mm-hmm. But if we didn't, what would we do instead? You're playing games. Literally it. Laying in bed looking at memes.
Memes all day.
That's all we'd be doing.
Trump ruining people's brains.
Yeah, man. But at least his memes are pretty good.
Yeah.
Could be bad memes.
Could be, but that one
bad
was
JPEG
that was a pretty good one.
But yeah, guys, so thanks for watching. We'll be back next Sunday, 2 o'clock Central Time at duo.com/live. And of course, the best way to get a hold of any of our things is SethandColby.com. We got our links to iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher. We got a regular RSS feed there if you don't like to do the thingies that are normal. And all the videos are there too. Next week, you guys can see it. It's in the corner of the bed over there. I have a new PC. It's an actual PC. It's the first PC I'll own since 2008, probably. Probably before that, because I don't even think I had one when we did the show in 2007. I feel like it might have. No, I did because I ran carts on that. That was
you had it there.
Yeah, that was that one. But it's been like 10 years since I've had a PC, and I got it just for streaming. So hopefully this terrible quality stream that's by some miracle, actually kind of worked today. We only dropped 5,900 frames, which sounds like a lot, but it's only 2% of the show. So, we'll look a lot better. That's the point. And I hope that next week everything will look very shiny. And maybe I'll even move the camera so it's like nice.
Different.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. SethandColby.com. We'll see you later.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.